Mark Twain once said, the two most important days in your life are number one, the day you're born, and number two, the day you find out why. I'm here today and every day, forever, to humbly help you find your career passion. I'm always here for my students to also help you find your career purpose. All right, we got a lot of questions here already. This is great. So type all your questions as we go through this, and I promise you I'll answer all questions. We won't end until every question is answered, as always. Okay, great. So I'm always here to help you find your purpose in life. And you won't find another business teacher on the planet who cares as much and works as hard as I do to ensure that my students are successful. I really care. And I want to nurture and help my students find their career ambition or get their ambition back. And so I will walk through walls to help you take your career to the next level. And I promise you that I care just as much about your opportunity for unlimited success as you do. So please stick around until the end of today's live webcast, as I have a few special gifts for everybody on the call, including for the first time, a free version of the Audible version of my best-selling book called 101 Crucial Lessons They Don't Teach You in Business School, and much more. And what I'll do is, for all of these free gifts, there's 3 of them actually I'm giving to everybody today. What I'll do is I'll give them out right before we start the Q&A session, because that can go on for a long, long time. So everybody gets 3 gifts today, okay? And I'll tell you right before the Q&A session how to download them. However, one person on this call wins a 100% scholarship to the platinum version of my MBA degree program that starts on June 1st. And the winner is Haroun Almeida. So Haroun, congratulations. Please email admissions@harounventures.com to get your prize. I saw you were the first comment here this morning. So again, everybody gets 3 gifts today. And I promise you, and I guarantee you, that I will help you live your life on your own terms in this MBA degree program, or your money back. And so welcome to our 4th annual Haroun MBA Degree Program Open House. So we got a lot of stuff to cover today, and I decided that after I discuss the MBA program and provide you with many career-enhancing tips, that I'll do my usual endless Zoom open house Q&A session. And I'll tell you soon how to get on Zoom, and that rhymed. I'll tell you soon how to get on Zoom to ask questions. And you can also ask questions over YouTube chat, and I'll answer every single one of them. And my record is 12 hours in a row of answering questions over Zoom without taking a break, which we did in our MBA open house back in 2020. And it gives me such pleasure to humbly help my students. And I really hope you enjoy today's live webcast. So this is your MBA on your own terms, because this program is very, very flexible. And we now have well over 1,000 students that have graduated or are currently in our MBA program. And all 1,000 plus students have one thing in common. We are all here to help each other reach our full potential. We're all in this together. And so our global family of incredible MBA students are from many different countries. And I'm humbled to say that in all of my courses, I have well over 1 million students, and my courses have generated more than $10 million in revenue. And I mention this because I continue to reinvest to ensure that your MBA program is always up to date with fresh new content. So in addition to the 5 pillars of the content that's already in my MBA program, I'm actually adding a 6th pillar right now, which is technology. And specifically, I'm going to teach you how to program from scratch. And I have a lot of programming experience, and I just developed a methodology that makes it fun to program. And you get all of this for free forever if you're in or will be a student in my MBA program. And the programming content is going to be exclusive to my MBA program. Now, I was interviewed on Monday of this week by Business Insider on my thoughts on how the metaverse is going to change education. And what I'm doing is I'm adding a lot of metaverse stuff to the MBA program as well. And I can't wait to show you what it looks like. And so whatever new technologies are or will be created, I'll continue to add new content to the MBA program so that you're always one giant step ahead of your competition. And I'll talk about the MBA in more detail soon. And if you want, you can check it out at this website you see right there. It says day one, not one day. Yeah. And the link below there, MBA Metaverse, I just registered that and trademarked it. You can go to that link if you want. It's just kind of an experimental side of what the Metaverse part of the program is going to look like. And so what I want to do is we have 100 classes in the MBA program, 100 lessons. And I want to create a Metaverse optional case study for each one. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so let's talk today about today's agenda right now. So we're going to talk about 4 topics today. Number 1, I'll discuss our 4th annual Gold and Platinum Haroun MBA Degree Program that starts this June. And this is going to be a smaller class, so positions are limited. And if the class sells out quickly, don't worry, as we'll have another class next year. Also, I want to stress that for this smaller upcoming 4th annual 1-year Gold and Platinum MBA class that starts this June, for this June class, this will be the last time that anybody that purchases the Gold or Platinum program will be allowed to join any future classes for free. Okay? Now, and I'll explain this later in more detail, but the Gold and Platinum class is the exact same class, but Platinum students get one-on-one meetings as well. Okay, so again, if you want to learn more about the Gold and Platinum MBA program starting this June, you can always visit this, I always get this wrong, this website here called Day One and Not One Day. Now, I want to clarify what I just said about everybody getting gold for free if you sign up now. So the way it works is if you sign up for Gold and Platinum for this June class, you can join any gold class forever in the future for free. And this is the last time I'm doing that. Okay. Now, the second item on today's agenda is I'm going to interview 2 incredible graduates from the Platinum version of my Haroun MBA Degree Program, including Christina Hong, who lives here in the San Francisco Bay Area, and Payton, who works in surface warfare in the United States Navy. The third topic that I want to cover is many tips to help you take your career to the next level based on the many wonderful questions that you all emailed me about over the past week and a half. And I want to thank you all for the many emails you sent this week requesting what you want me to teach about next and what you want me to add to our ever-growing MBA curriculum. I read every single question, and a lot of them were so wonderful and touched my heart. I read every single one, and I'm going to address many of them today. And I humbly promise you that my answers to your questions will help your career take off. Please don't get offended if I don't answer the questions that you asked. I'm answering as many as I can. Yeah. And if I don't answer, you can ask me during the Q&A today. Okay. Now, during the 4th part of today's session, we've got Q&A, and it lasts forever. And again, I'll tell you later how to access Zoom to ask questions. You can type questions or ask over Zoom. Okay. So if you want, what you can do is you can actually go ahead to, I've got a bunch of pedals down here, 6 pedals to be exact. You can go ahead and go directly to harounmba.com or Day One and Not One Day, and you can scroll down and just read about the MBA program. You can also access all of the FAQs here as well. I just added this new technology here. It's pretty cool. But I'm going to cover a lot of that today in more detail. But you'll see the prices here and what's different about each part of the program. Okay, let me get back on track here. I got a pedal over here to click. There we go. Didn't work. I'll try again. Hold on. Okay, we're good to go. Great. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so let's talk about topic number 1 of 4, which is a discussion of our 4th annual Gold and Platinum Haroun MBA Degree Program that starts this June. As I mentioned, this is going to be a smaller class, so positions are limited. And again, if the class sells out quickly, don't worry, because we will have another one next year and every year forever. Yeah. So traditional, and give me 1 second here, sorry. There we go, good. I'm on track here. All right, so traditional MBA schools are too expensive and they're inflexible, meaning you have to physically be there in class, and they're outdated as well. And they literally teach you stuff that was relevant last century, and they have not kept up to date with technology and social media trends. And so my MBA degree program is affordable, as it only costs the same as a couple of hours of the cost of getting an MBA from an old school traditional MBA program. Plus, there is no risk, as there's a 30-day 100% money back guarantee. And my 30-day 100% money back guarantee lasts for 30 days after we start our 1-year MBA degree program on June 1st. So if you purchase today, then what happens is you get your money back all the way up until July the 1st. And so again, spots are limited in this smaller class. It's going to be smaller than my usual 160 students per class. Okay. And every year I have only 1 or 2 students that ask for their money back. And I encourage you to go to LinkedIn and find any students that are graduates of my MBA degree program and chat with them. They're from all over the world, and they help each other a lot, as your network is your net worth. Also, my program is very flexible because you can access it anytime from anywhere forever. You can watch the lecture live with me here in class, where I stop after each topic to take endless questions. Or you can watch the recorded lessons and recorded Q&A session, as well as the recorded weekly office hours online anytime and on any device forever. And if you sign up as a gold or platinum MBA student for the class that starts on June 1st, again, you get access to all gold programs for free forever. And this is the last time we have this offer. And I'll walk through walls to help my students reach their full potential in life. Also, my MBA program is always up to date, as you receive many hours of brand new content every year for free. And as I mentioned, I'm adding programming classes later this year. And it's a one-time payment for the June MBA, and you get all additional future content for free. Now, I pride myself on teaching based on my real-life practical experience, okay? And based on the many meetings I've had with billionaires and top CEOs and entrepreneurs, which is where I got the 101 Crucial Lessons in my book right here. I'm not smart enough to write it myself. I got all that IP from smarter people. Now, I published this book while I worked in the venture capital industry, and I'm humbled to say that Forbes called this book one of 6 books that all entrepreneurs need to read right now, along with books by Peter Thiel, Simon Sinek, and The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, The Lean Startup, and The Billionaire Effect as well. Now, Business Insider called my book the best book of the year in 2016, as voted on by Business Insider readers. And everybody attending this call can get the Audible version of this for free, and I'll explain how later, and the PDF version of the book for free, and I'll explain how soon. And I just added 100 new pages to the book as well. And again, I teach based on my work experience, and not everybody knows me on this call. So I thought what I would do is I'd very quickly talk about my bio and why I do what I do, meaning why I teach. So I'm from Canada originally. They're so cute. They grow up so fast, by the way. Yeah. And my oldest one, this guy here, ow, my finger got cut off. This guy here, he's 18. He's going to university next year. This guy here is 12 now, going on 30. And this guy here is 16, so he's driving as well. It's cray-cray. That's me when I was younger. Yeah. Okay. So I'm from Canada originally, but I now live in the San Francisco Bay Area with my wife, Christine, and my 3 sons. Now, they're older, as I mentioned, and my eldest son, Andrew, starts university at Berkeley this fall, and he's studying engineering. Now, in terms of my work experience, I have about 30 years of experience in business. I just turned 50 earlier this year. And so I graduated with a Bachelor of Commerce degree from McGill University many, many years ago, back in 1994. It was so much fun. And then I worked for 4 years as a programmer at consulting firm Accenture. That was bad dad humor. Then what I did was I got my MBA from Columbia University in the year 2000. And when I graduated, my friends from Columbia and Harvard Business School that I work with, we were all so frustrated that we all didn't learn the most important business concepts in business school, which is why I created this MBA degree program. So traditional MBA schools, what happens is they don't teach you important stuff like how to present or how to get customers or how to network or how to interview or how to manage your money. They teach you how to manage other people's money. And this was apparent to me when I wanted to buy my first apartment in New York City back in 2002. And I called my buddies that graduated with me from Columbia, my Harvard Business School friends. And I asked, hey man, how does a mortgage work? And they all said, I don't know. They didn't teach us that in business school. They also don't teach us how to start a company. I mean, ask anybody that has an MBA. So now do you know how to start a company? They don't. And so MBA schools teach traditional theoretical stuff, concepts that were maybe relevant literally last century. And they teach you bogus theoretical concepts like supply and demand curves, which nobody uses in the real world unless you're like an economist. And unlike traditional MBA programs, my MBA program covers all of these concepts and much, much more, and it's always up to date. Now, after I graduated from Columbia University, I went to work at Goldman Sachs in New York City. Then the top hedge fund in the world called Citadel hired me and moved my family to the San Francisco Bay Area here, where I invested in technology stocks. I then started a hedge fund and a venture capital firm where I had pre-IPO investments in my fund in Facebook, Palantir, and other private companies. But something was missing because when I had all of my annual reviews at all the companies I worked for in the past, it was very uncomfortable for my bosses. They would always start the annual performance review with, Chris, you're exceeding expectations humbly, and you're a top performer, and you're a great teammate, and you're fun to work with. However, can you please spend a little bit less time mentoring people in other departments of the firm? And I got tons of awards over the years for being the best mentor at companies I've worked at. And it always made me happy doing this. Okay. And my answer to my boss was always respectfully no, because you cannot expect you can't expect your dreams to come true without first helping other people's dreams come true. And it always gives me a lot of satisfaction helping people with their careers. And I loved venture capital as I got to sit on many boards and I started many companies and I humbly did well. But I found my true passion, which was teaching and helping students take their careers to the next level. So what I did was during the evenings and on weekends, I would teach at a bunch of schools, universities, as well as charitable stuff. Okay, so I taught at Stanford as a guest lecturer many times. I mentored many students there as part of their Venture Capital Curriculum in their MBA Degree Program. It was fun. It was fun. So I taught at a bunch of other Bay Area universities, and one in particular gave me Professor of the Year. And I want to help you find your passion too. And so during the weekends, yeah, this is the slide I was looking for. During the weekends, what I would do was I would volunteer at charities in East Palo Alto, okay, which is in the San Francisco Bay Area, where the high school graduation rate is only 40%. And many of these poor kids here have deadbeat fathers. I don't believe there's such thing as a deadbeat mother. And I mentored every single one of these awesome kids here. And what I did was I created a one-day course for them called an entire MBA in one day. And I never did it for the money. Then I just threw up a bunch of cameras at home and I recorded myself talking for about 10 hours because I wanted to share it with the world. And I called that course an entire MBA in one course, which is about 8 hours long. And I'm humbled to say that that course alone has sold more than 500,000 copies. Now, I never did it for the money. And I tell my students that if you chase money, you lose your money and your dreams. But if you chase your dreams, and if you don't give a damn what other people think of you, then something wonderful happens. Your dreams come true, and the money follows accidentally. It always does, no matter what anybody tells you. And you can't reinvent yourself or make a dent in the universe unless you follow your heart and chase your passion. That says passion there. Yeah. Okay. And all the best entrepreneurs, they never chased money. What they did was they chased their dreams. And I want to help you realize your dreams, as again, I can't expect to realize my dreams until I first help my students' dreams become a reality. And so my passion is helping you. My passion is also building schools with the profits from my MBA program. And my mission is to build schools all over the world with my students. And so last year, we started building in Rwanda. I visited Rwanda last summer with one of my Platinum MBA graduates named Vital from the Haroun MBA program. So that's my purpose and my passion, and I'll help you find yours as well. And next year, we're building another school with another Platinum student of mine named Haroun in Kenya. So my MBA is not only based on my work experience on Wall Street working at Goldman Sachs, it's also based on my work experience in the venture capital industry here in the San Francisco Bay Area. And it's not American focused. It's global in nature, as I have worked all over the world as well. Now, our next Gold and Platinum MBA Degree Program class starts on Wednesday, June the 1st, okay? And classes are every single Wednesday from June 1st, 2022 until May 31st of 2023. And classes are 6 hours per week on Wednesdays from 9 a.m. Pacific time until 3 p.m. Pacific time, plus live Q&A after all topics. So each Wednesday we cover 6 topics. And after all 6 topics, I stop and I take questions over Zoom or YouTube Live. And you don't have to watch all the classes live. You can actually watch the replays of them or just watch and attend the classes that you're most interested in. And there's barely any homework either, as you learn during class, as it's edutaining, meaning educational and entertaining. Now, there's about 50 classes, okay? That's 1 per week for a year. There's about 50 classes, and there's 2 short quizzes after each class, which takes you hardly any time to finish. This means that there are 100 quizzes, and in order to pass and receive your MBA degree, all you need to do is get over 50% on half of the 100 quizzes. And I set it up this way because not all students are interested in the same content, and I want this to truly be your MBA on your own terms. And the Gold and Platinum program students all attend the same class and the same Q&A sessions and the same 2-hour weekly office hours. And that 2 hours of weekly office hours for Gold and Platinum students is every single Thursday from 11:20 a.m. Pacific time until 1:20 Pacific time. And it's optional, of course. Now, if you're in the Platinum program, unlike Gold, you get everything you get in Gold and Platinum, and you also get 3 hours of one-on-one Zoom calls with me spread out throughout the year. And the one-on-one Zoom calls are 20 minutes each on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays between 1:30 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. Now, if you have an emergency meeting coming up at work where you're asking for a promotion, or you have an interview coming up, of course I can do multiple back-to-back 20-minute sessions with you. I'm pretty flexible. And during the 3 hours of one-on-one meetings, meaning the 180 minutes for 20-minute sessions, so during the 9 meetings in total, during the one-on-ones, I will literally write your entire LinkedIn profile if you want me to, and I will humbly and confidentially help you with any business or career-related topic, from how to interview, or how to ask for a raise, or ask for a promotion, or how to grow your startup, or any other project you want me to help you with. I'm always here for you. Okay, let's look at the prices and what is included in the Gold and Platinum program. So let's go together again to that same web page. I'm going to try to click the right pedal this time. Here we go. Okay, good. All right, here it is here. So you can go to harounmba.com. So there's 3 versions of the program, and many of you are upgrading or thinking about upgrading from silver to gold. And if you're going to upgrade from silver to gold or platinum, send an email please to admissions@harounventures.com because you do get a discount. So there's 3 different versions of the program. Silver, you get just over 300 hours of on-demand lessons you can watch anytime, just like on Netflix. Gold, you get everything you get in silver, plus you get access to over 200 hours of Zoom calls and YouTube live Q&A sessions. And there's also in-person events, which I'll talk about later. And with Platinum, you get everything you get in gold for this price here, which is a discount off the $2,500 sticker price. And this is $500 off as well. In Platinum, you get everything you get in gold. Plus you get those 3 hours of one-on-one meetings. And you can scroll down here if you're curious to learn more about this, or just listen to me because I'll talk about most of this anyway in more detail. Okay, let me go back here to Wirecast. All right, there we go. Okay, great. All right, so let's now discuss what is included in the MBA program, meaning what do I teach about in the 1-year gold and platinum MBA program starting on June the 1st. So there are 6 pillars, as you can see here, in the MBA program. And Christina, thank you so much. Christina is the head of the alumni committee here, and she's coming on the call later. She found a couple of typos and she emailed me this morning. Thank you for that, Christina. I appreciate it. So there's 6 pillars here in the MBA program. And I mentioned the brand new technology pillar being added to the MBA program, where I'll teach you programming in many different programming languages from scratch. And in the technology pillar, I'll also teach you Web 3.0 and metaverse concepts and NFTs from scratch. And anytime there is a new technology platform or social media platform that I think can help my students, I will add them to the program at no additional cost. And the technology part of the MBA is brand new. All right, let's now discuss the other 5 components or pillars of the MBA program. The second one here is finance and accounting. And I'll teach you finance and accounting from scratch, assuming you have no finance or accounting experience. And if you do have finance and accounting experience, I want you to forget everything you learned, because I'm going to teach it to you in a brand new way and a much easier way too, and a more fun way with lots and lots of props. I'm a very visual person when I teach. And all the stuff I teach is based on my work experience on Wall Street, having worked at Goldman Sachs, and in the hedge fund industry and venture capital industry. And I'll teach you how to read financial statements like a good book. And I'll teach you also about mergers and acquisitions, investment banking, and I'll use real life case studies. Now, here's a very short video about the finance and accounting portion of the MBA program. Let me just tee this up here. Here we go. Do you want to learn all of the practical finance and accounting skills that you need to be successful in a really fun way from scratch? In this track, we cover everything from managing your personal finances to even starting a hedge fund and everything in between. I teach you the basics and the advanced ways to analyze and value companies, create a diversified investment portfolio. I also teach you how to invest in stocks, bonds, commodities, real estate, and even advanced options topics covering derivatives, investing in options, future swaps, and much more. And I promise you that I will explain it all in a fun and easy to understand way from scratch. You will learn how to use my VFT, meaning Valuation, Fundamentals, and Technicals Investment Research Framework, that uses my specially designed 100-step process and comprehensive, brand new state-of-the-art investment template to research and analyze stocks to ensure that you can pick profitable investments in the long run. When you finish this track, you will be able to manage portfolios like a professional by using the many financial models and frameworks I provide you with to outperform your competition, regardless of whether it's your own money, your client's money, or corporate or government portfolios. This track is so comprehensive and enjoyable. You can go from being financially illiterate to a savvy professional investor in practically no time at all with the methods that you'll learn to use in these easy to apply lessons. It's never too late to learn how to invest in your future. So please check it out. We can't wait to have you join us. Thank you. All right, and the third pillar of the MBA program is entrepreneurship, where I'll teach you how to start a company or improve your current company. And here's a short video on the entrepreneurship track. Over the last decade, there's been an explosion of entrepreneurship with the advancement of technology. The amazing thing is that anybody can start companies now with very little capital and in any country. But sadly, most of these businesses will fail within 2 years. Now, the difference between success and failure is planning and execution, because failing to plan is planning to fail. In the entrepreneurship track, we have what I call our Venture Capital Bootcamp. I guide you through all the practical steps that you need to grow your existing company or launch a new company, including raising money, creating a rock-solid go-to-market business strategy, building your management team, determining the product and or service that you're selling, and creating financial statements the easy way. I have a lot of experience with venture capital, as I've participated as a teacher and a keynote speaker at venture capital events all over the world, including judging business models on many occasions at the Stanford University Graduate School of Business. In the entrepreneurship track of the program, you are given many up-to-date and easy-to-use templates for writing a business plan, including finding your customers, researching your competition, and securing the necessary financials to ensure your company's success. This section is jam-packed with practical skills and knowledge that will give graduates the upper hand in the new economy. Students are provided with the step-by-step lessons to launch and execute a successful business idea that will thrive today and in the future. If you've ever dreamed of starting your own business, you'll be armed with the essential tools needed to ensure success. Learn why relationships are more important than product knowledge, and together, let's build your business empire. I'll see you in the program. Thank you. All right, I saw a couple questions come up here about payment plans. Patrick and Grace are asking, are there payment plan programs? There are at checkout. You'll see there's an option there as well. Diana just said, is it technology being added to previous versions of the MBA? And you mentioned you started in January. Yes. And when I add new stuff, I email all students. Okay, cool. All right, so the next component, the fourth component, or fourth pillar of 6, is called Sales, Marketing, and Communications, where I teach you how to sell anything, including yourself. Now, the best CEOs and entrepreneurs are great salespeople, and I'll teach you how to reinvent yourself and how to get more customers, a better job, and much more. I teach you how to use YouTube and other social media products as well to enhance your career. And I'll also teach you how to communicate better and speak gooder too. Sorry, awful dad humor. That's no more dad humor today, I promise you. There is some in the MBA program, but that's okay because you have a 30-day, 100% money back guarantee. Yeah. I'm at the point now where my kids are, they're rolling their eyes now whenever I use dad humor. Yeah, blue screen's not working for them there. Okay, cool. All right, so I also teach you how to use the video and audio equipment that you already have at your house, if you have it, to create an incredible Zoom or webcast experience for your viewers from your home. And Matt Lacousse, who's a partner of mine in my firm, he's my chief creative officer. In the 4th semester, what he does is he teaches a couple of the classes, 3 of them to be exact, 3 out of 100. And he teaches you how to create the best video and audio experience in your house. And he'll also tell you what equipment to buy if you want to. And if you're in the Platinum program, he'll do one-on-ones with you as well to help you get the best Zoom experience, because you never get that second chance to make a great first impression. Now, here's a quick video on what the sales, marketing, and communications part is all about. That's my Canadian accent saying about. 2 of the most important skills you need to succeed in your career are the ability to sell and the ability to market yourself. But traditional MBAs place very little, if any, emphasis on this area. They're stuck teaching theories that no longer have any relevance in modern society. In this section of the program called Sales, Marketing, and Communications, you'll learn how to sell, including your products, your services, and most importantly, yourself. I will teach you frameworks for qualifying your leads more effectively, along with an assortment of tips, tools, and techniques that you can use to elevate the value of your offer to your current or potential customers. I will teach you how to sell better than anybody you know. You'll also learn how to communicate effectively during meetings and during presentations, as well as how to appeal to your customers' emotions and how to use empathy as your secret weapon. Inside this track of the program, you'll learn all of the skills needed to navigate the modern business landscape and succeed in any job. Don't sell yourself short. Learn how to get what you're worth. Come and check it out for yourself. Thank you. The fifth component is called Economics Management and Strategy, and I teach you how global finance works, including how interest rates work and much, much more. We also use many frameworks to analyze companies that top consulting firms like Accenture, where I used to work, and McKinsey, where I got rejected, use to analyze companies. And so I'm going to show you a short video now of what to expect in the Economics Management and Strategy part of the program. And you'll notice that we do a case study on Nintendo. And I'm a techie, I love video games. And I taught that particular class, one out of the 100 classes, using Super Mario Maker with my kids. I made the levels. It was fun. Inside the Economics Management and Strategy section of the Haroun MBA Degree Program, we focus on teaching relevant information for the real world. We also examine how governments affect the economy and what that means for investors. In addition, we analyze successful companies and industry leaders' best practices, which you can apply to your career to take your career to the next level. We'll also learn everything there is to know about cryptocurrencies when we take a deep dive into the topic and consider what impact they will have on the financial systems in the future. This section is full of relevant case studies, including Apple potentially buying Nintendo. This section also includes many frameworks and research systems that graduates always rave about that have taken this program, because it provides them with actionable lessons that they can put into use right away to greatly impact their future wealth. We also discuss, in an entertaining and educational way, fiscal policy, monetary policy, international trade, how to manage and motivate people, and so much more. So take control of your financial future. Success is closer than it seems. Join us now and learn how to achieve your future dreams faster. I'll see you on the inside of the program. Thank you. A couple of questions here about the program. Looks like Anchal asked, if I purchase gold today, can I upgrade to platinum later? Only if people drop out of the platinum part of the program, meaning if people ask for their money back, yeah. Next question I've got here is, and I'll answer all these at the end as well. Patrick asks, what's the difference between these programs and the courses you posted on Udemy? You wrote you have many of them, thank you. It's all brand new material recorded with 4K cameras, 4 different angles as well in 4K. Of course, some of the concepts are repetitive, but I teach it using brand new props and a different way to teach as well. It's a lot of fun, you'll love it. Okay, so in the sixth and final pillar, we have personal growth, where I help you accomplish much more every single day using this template and many other templates, which I provide you with in many different file formats. And this will help you accomplish more while being well-rounded, so you have time for exercise, family, friends, and much, much more. If you want to get something done, give it to a busy person, which will be you. And I help you with conquering any lack of confidence that we might have that's holding back from reaching our full potential in our careers. And I provide you with many more templates too in the MBA program, so you can tackle any business problem by working smarter and not harder. So here's our sixth and final video on the personal growth pillar, which is a lot of fun, and it's not taught in other MBA schools. Welcome to the personal growth track of the program, where you will develop a crystal clear image of the person and future you truly desire. You will learn how to identify and create a blueprint for the future that you want. Now, in this track, you will redefine your image of yourself and grow your confidence by pushing your limits. You'll also be able to market yourself far more effectively because you will have developed the inner belief that fuels your dreams. You will gain improved communication skills that will have a lasting positive impact, both personally and professionally, for the rest of your life, so that you can get the dream job or change careers or get promoted and so much more. Get the confidence and tools you need to create the life that you want. Make the best decision you can make for your future and join me. Thank you. And my Chief Creative Officer, Matt Lacus, did a fantastic job with the editing there. He's awesome. Okay, let's move on and let's talk about some frequently asked questions in the MBA program. So one I get quite often is, can I take the program if I have no knowledge of any business or finance or accounting concepts? Absolutely. No prior knowledge is required. We have many doctors and engineers and MBA graduates from top schools in the program, and they say that they learned more from my MBA program than they did from their traditional MBA program, and at a fraction of the cost. And we've actually had graduates that are in their early 20s and in their early 70s from all over the world, and all with unique backgrounds that really helps to enhance the student body from a networking perspective. Another question I get is, what if I don't have enough time to watch classes or do the short quizzes? And do I need to quit my job? No, you don't have to quit your job because you only have to take half of the quizzes and get over 50% on those quizzes. You take half of them in order to pass. So there's 100 quizzes. All you have to do is take 50 and get over 50%. Also, you don't have to do the entire program in 1 year. You can take as long as you want to. This is a very flexible and affordable MBA program that you can take on your own terms. And you have access to all of the content and new content I add forever. And you don't need a university degree to register for my MBA program. Another question I get is, are there opportunities to network with other students? Absolutely. We do it using Slack and Zoom and in our in-person graduation and networking events. And to attend those events, the in-person one, you actually don't have to even graduate. All you have to do is be signed up for gold or platinum. Now, here's a short video from last year's graduation ceremony, which students attended in person or they watched on a live webcast. And Christina Hong, who is the president of our Haroun MBA Degree Alumni Association, is in this video. And she's also doing Q&A with us later on today in case you have questions for Christina, who graduated last year. So here's a short clip on the graduation.
Good morning to my amazing global MBA family.
So you now officially have everything you need to build something far bigger than yourself. Okay? And so we are now 100% done the MBA degree program. Congratulations. Excellent. He's from Mississauga. It's my hometown. Next up, we've got Christian Chang. Dion Vernon. Now, I want to end this MBA degree program right now on this positive note. And I want you to get up and start working on architecting your perfect life, armed with what you've learned in this MBA degree program. And more importantly, armed with this new empowering belief that you have in yourself. Now, this is not the end. It is not the beginning of the end. It is perhaps the end of the beginning. Believe in yourself and think with your heart first. I believe in you and I love you. Thank you. And Simon is asking here, so theoretically, I can pass without studying? Yes. All you do is during class, you can actually take the quizzes. So the way it works is this. The quizzes, I write them in the order of the class, right? So while you're watching the class, if you have the quiz window open, you can answer the multiple choice questions that way. Yeah. Okay. All right. Next up, another question I get is this. Is the Haroun MBA degree program accredited? No, because accredited traditional old school MBA programs don't help you achieve your full potential, and they don't teach you practical business concepts that make you successful. So government accreditation, the way it works, it means that you have to have a board that will make me teach theoretical stuff that you won't use in the real world. And so here is what business icons have to say about accredited traditional old school MBA programs. So I'll kick it off with Elon Musk. Here it is here. I love that picture. Yeah. So Elon Musk said, as much as possible, avoid hiring MBAs. MBA programs don't teach you how to create companies. Our position is that we hire someone in spite of an MBA, not because of one. And I saw this morning, he just sold $4 billion worth of Tesla stock because he's buying Twitter. Yeah. And he said, by the way, that he's not going to be selling any more shares after yesterday. Yeah. Apparently he sold yesterday. People were telling me. Yeah. Also, Sheryl Sandberg, who's the COO of Facebook, said, while I got great value from my experience, MBAs are not necessary at Facebook, and I don't believe they're important for working in the tech industry. Next up, we have Guy Kawasaki. He's a great guy. He was an early Apple employee, and he said this: for every full-time engineer, add $500,000 in company value, and for every full-time MBA, subtract $250,000. Peter Thiel, who's always controversial, and he's the top venture capitalist in the world, he said this: never hire an MBA, they will ruin your company. And Mark Andreessen, who is also a top venture capitalist here in Silicon Valley, and I met him actually, and we were on a board together when I worked in venture capital. He's a really big guy, yeah, really tall. He said, MBA graduating classes are actually a reliable indicator. If they all want to go into investment banking, they all want to go into investment banking, there's going to be a financial crisis. If they want to go into technology, that means a bubble is forming. And Scott Cook, who's a Harvard MBA and the founder of Intuit, the company that makes QuickBooks, he said this: when MBAs come to us, we have to fundamentally retrain them. Nothing they learned will help them succeed at innovation. And lastly, here's my favorite one. This guy's brilliant. So this is the #1 marketing guru on the planet. His name is Seth Godin. And he was on the TV show Billions as a guest character recently, actually. But he said this: an MBA has become a two-part machine. First, the students are taught everything they need to know to manage a company from 1990. And second, they're taken out of the real world. And so I would love to have you join us in my gold or platinum MBA program that starts this June 1st. And so what you can do if you want to is you can go directly to, and let me get the right pedal here. You can go directly to harounmba.com and you can sign up. And when you click here to sign up, you'll see that after you click it, once you get down to the bottom here, that there are payment plans as well. Okay, and this is discounted usually. The list price is usually it's $14.99. You get gold for $9.99, and then Platty, you get this for $1,000 off. It's $14.99. Yeah. All right, let me get back here on track. Over here. Here we go. Fun. All right. Now, as I mentioned, this can be a smaller class, so spots are limited. Now, we have lots of testimonials on that website I was at just there, Haroun MBA, from graduates. So feel free to reach out to any gold or platinum MBA graduate on LinkedIn as well, if you want to. Okay. Now, we have students from all over the world that have taken and benefited from this program. For example, we have Eileen Deo Gracias, and she has the most beautiful last name because that's Spanish, thank God. And she's on the call here today as well. Hi, Eileen. So Eileen wrote, the MBA courses completely changed my outlook in life and in business. And I met with Eileen when I went to Atlanta earlier this year, or last year, I should say. We have Dr. Mark Vincent Besa from the Philippines. He said the MBA is one of a kind where practicality is taught, and we learn exactly how successful companies are built. I'm not going to go through all of these, but we have students from all over the world. We have David, funny guy. I met him last year at graduation. Akil in India. He's my brother. Stella from South Korea. Yoshida-san from Japan. We've got Vital from Germany. He's originally from Rwanda. And this is the gentleman, Vital, that I'm building that school with in Rwanda, based on the profits I make in this program. We've got Eric from the Netherlands. We got Asan from Pakistan. Jason Blythe, who's the former head of the Alumni Committee from Australia. Great guy. We've also got Doris from the United Kingdom. The list goes on and on and on of testimonials. But reach out to people that haven't written testimonials and ask them as well. And there's video testimonials on my website as well, if you're interested. Okay, let me go through these here quickly. All right. There we go. Good. So I spent over $1 million on this program so far. And you can take the program on a laptop, a desktop, a tablet, or your cell phone. And all lectures have enhanced closed captions as well. And that means that you can actually search through text-wise in each lesson. Okay, and each lesson has a unique background with many props to make the learning environment fun and engaging. That was our case study on Nintendo there. Yeah. So lots of cool different backdrops there. There's Warren Buffett. All right, cool. All right, so what we're going to do now, before I get to answering questions based on the questions you guys emailed me, is I'm going to do an interview now with MBA program graduates Payton Kalawahea and Christina Hong. And I'll ask Payton and Christina a couple of questions. And then what I'll do is I'll go to YouTube chat here to see if you have questions for Christina and or Payton. But please start your questions with @Christina or @Payton when you type them. So I'm going to open up Zoom now. Okay, give me 1 second to set this up here. Go here to Zoom. And I will go over to here. All right. And I'm using a product called Wirecast to manage all this. And I teach you how to use Wirecast as well in the program. I teach you how to use Twitch for streaming and also OBS. And that's the wrong camera angle. Hold on a second. Make sure we're up and running here. Okay. That's my slider. I'm going to turn it back to this one so I'm in the middle. There we go. Okay, great. Okay, cool. So Christina and Payton, please come on board and I'll start asking you guys questions now if you want to. And while I wait, oh, here we go. Good. Excellent. Here's Payton. So Payton lives in San Diego. He's in the process of moving to Oklahoma. He's in the United States Navy. Payton, how are you, bud? Oh, looks like you're on mute, brother. Sorry, it's my fault. I defaulted to mute.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Good? Okay.
No, that's an amateur mistake. All the one-on-ones with you. I should know that by now.
No, I do it all the time, please. No, it defaults to off. Okay, and we got Christina joining here too. Okay, great. Excellent. So she's joining in a second here. So how are you doing, man? You good?
Good. Yeah, I took some leave for this. I care about you and this program a lot. So I'm going to try to see if I can shed some light and help anybody that I can.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
Hi. And we have Christina as well. Christina, how are you?
Hi, everybody. Great. Hi, Professor Chris. Hey, Payton.
Our fearless
leader.
Hey,
Christina. Fearless leader. What's up?
Excellent.
I'm doing great. Excited to be here. Thank you, Professor Chris, for including Payton and I to be part of your 4th annual Haroun Education Open House. Super excited.
Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so let's kick it off with, I'm reading notes here, my teleprompter. Let's kick it off with, please introduce yourself in terms of where you're from and your life experiences prior to joining our MBA program. Payton, why don't you go first, buddy?
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Payton. I was born and raised in the island of Oahu. and just grew up there. And then I got a scholarship to go to the University of Oklahoma on a Navy ROTC scholarship. So it's just a scholarship that they do to provide to kind of get the manpower for officers in the Navy. So I went there to University of Oklahoma, trained there for 4 years, as well as got my education in human relations and communication. So also for anybody that like maybe is like nervous about like computer science or like, you know, the things that like Chris talks about technical wise, don't worry, he dumbs it down. Like I failed computer science, so I had to switch to a human relations and communications major. And then I graduated and became an officer in the United States Navy, and just been driving ships. Got to go all over the world to be able to do that. Places, East Coast, West Coast of the United States, as well as Fifth Fleet op area, so as well as a little bit of a Seventh Fleet as well. And just got to manage some people as well, and really like coming into Chris's program, really had bare minimum understandings of stock market and fundamental analysis. Total addressable market, had no clue about that stuff, like, you know, how to read a report, nothing. That was kind of like my entrance, and I kind of saw his TED Talk, and that was kind of my last push over the edge. And I always tell Chris this, I wasn't actually supposed to join because I was a late incomer, and I just engulfed all the information, but we can get over that later. I wanna toss it over to Christina, our fearless leader.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. So glad everybody is here as part of the open house. For me, my background is pretty interesting. I was 3.5 when my mom, a single mom, brought me to the New York City from Macau, where I was born. And so growing up, I've always been super entrepreneur, I think. I had a iced tea stand in in New York City during the hot, humid summers. And so I think always it was a part of me, and I must acknowledge Professor Chris, because you really shed light to that part of my mindset of remembering, what it was like for me growing up. Because I never thought of myself as a business person. I was going to become a pediatrician because I love children. I have a real big passion for children's development. And so really, I thought after watching Gross Anatomy when I was 7 that I would become a pediatrician growing up. Never did I think about business per se. But I realized it was a really underlying part of who I've always been. At 19, I actually went to NYU and started my own consulting company for law firms to go paperless, because I wanted to be helpful in the environment, because my mom worked in immigration law for 35 years. So I started 19 being an entrepreneur, helping law firms, which my mom's law firm, they had 3 locations. They were my first client. And that was my side hustle while going to NYU, being pre-med, being a bio and chemistry major. So it's super fascinating how, life happens. And then it leads you to what you end up doing. So I actually, at 21, before I even graduated at NYU, I got hired by one of the doctors I worked for. And they started what they called a dental medical practice management company, which was one of the first in New York City. And we were the largest. We had 14 locations. So I was a technology, junkie, and I was their IT coordinator, set up wide area networks, local area networks. So that was my background. I was a technologist. I loved what I did. But I walked away from medicine for only 1 year as a deferment. Well, 1 year, it became 9 years of my life. So it's really interesting how in life things happen and you pivot, right? And then it takes you down a whole new road. And I was super blessed. It was a pilot program at Columbia University in New York City for executive IT management program. And it was for technologists who wanted to not do a traditional MBA, because, I didn't want to be an investment banker or a hedge fund person. I wanted to be an entrepreneur and be a CIO or CTO or a CEO of a company. So that's what that program at Columbia was designed for. And I was so blessed because I actually didn't meet the requirements for some of the, prerequisites of being, because it was more like an executive MBA. But I was super passionate, committed. I remember sitting outside the dean's office. I said, as long as I get an interview, I can convince them why I am their perfect student. This program was made for me. And it really did. At 24 years old, I thought I was failing because I didn't become a pediatrician. I was doing a job, and I was like, I'm going to be so disappointing to my single mom who works 7 days a week for me. So I really wanted to prove, to myself, really. And the program really changed my life. And, I acknowledge all the people that, came after that, because my career just skyrocketed. After the program, at the same time I was doing life development work. And this is all right before, 9/11. And it was super interesting because I did Landmark Education. Then at Landmark, I got introduced to Tony Robbins, who's, a life development coach and strategist. And that changed my life that year in 2001 when I did that program. And it was the perfect synergy of doing life development work, realizing my self-worth, and that, I finished Columbia. So that was the perfect kind of segue for me, where I stood up for myself to the company I was working for, saying I deserve to be their CIO.
Nice.
And, I really gained confidence. And that's one of the
to ask.
biggest
You always
things.
have to ask if you want to get anything. And I'll talk about that soon during the Q&A. Somebody asked me a question over email. How do I get a promotion? How do I get a raise? How do I change careers? And if
anyone needs to ask about Professor Chris, really, in his MBA program, with the 5 pillars. Now there's a 6th pillar for technology. He's brilliant where he starts us off in the curriculum with personal growth, because it really lays the foundation for anything in life. If you want to succeed, if you want to pursue whatever, it's having confidence. And that for me, throughout my life, in all the stages, I realized that's what helped me propel to the next level in everything I've done. And Professor Chris, the program, when you start off with us on personal growth, you really lay the perfect foundation for everyone to be in that right growth mindset. And that's critical, to believing in yourself, because until you lay the foundation of having a good routine, having proper sleep, your biohacking tips, like, cheers, Chris.
Cheers. You're kicking my, you got the water. I saw the Believe Award. You won our annual Believe Award. I see it behind you there too.
Yes,
Very cool.
exactly.
Nice.
I had my props too, because I am such a stand for, what you've done and what you've created. And I am so passionate about your mission. That's one of the greatest things why, for me, this past year and a half has been so transformational in my life. Because, for a lot of people, they're like, why are you doing the Haroun Education MBA? You have such a good background. You were, a C-level executive in New York City. Like, what happened? Like, why would you do this? And for me, it was all in stages. I really believe everything happens for a reason, and it's meant to be. Right. And for me, it was just, I loved my career. I loved what I did. It was a job, but for me, I was super blessed and grateful because I was able to do what I love, which is technology, and merge the best of both worlds of technology and how to elevate and transform businesses to take them to the next level. So I was super blessed in that. And for me, I'm just excited. I can't wait. I'll continue sharing.
No, but I love your enthusiasm, and I love our class so much. And I only have one rule when we start the program on day one, and we have an amazing culture. And that rule is there's a no bullying culture. No, because everyone's opinion is accepted. And you'll find you learn more from each other than you do from me. Absolutely. We have a great culture here. And Christina's husband, Christian, who works at Sony, he used to work at LucasArts and Electronic Arts. Great guy. He was also in the program with us as well. Excellent. Well, I'm so grateful you're both here today. So my next question is, and we'll go Payton and then Christina. Next question is, how has it been learning remotely online, and how have you fit it into your life?
Yeah, for sure. For me, it's like definitely, I'm a full-time job, right? So I'm in the Navy full-time, just got to teach and also drive ships. So when it comes to online and being able to do it, I was not somebody that was very active during the actual streaming of it and then getting the questions after, but I always was the person that was pinging you after, like, on Thursdays or whatever during your weekly calls. And so I would listen. like past, I would download all the videos. I would watch them on the flights. I would do all kinds of stuff. I would do 2x on speed and everything like that. It's like, oh, okay, wait, he's going too fast. I need to slow it down. And just send you questions via email that you would answer them all on the weekly call. And I was just hungry for knowledge, and so being able to also go through them and the categories. So I also started late because there was, I think, some like a bug in terms of your code that I wasn't even supposed to be part of your class.
Yeah.
But I got in there.
We shut it off
somehow. And what was that?
We shut it off, and then you bought it. It came through. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Well, I'm so grateful you're with us today. Yeah.
Me too. My life would be completely different if I didn't. But the aspect of that, being able to download and to be able to do stuff like kind of at my own pace, and then also go into it. Like, I think what I really liked about you is to graduate, you don't have to go through 100% of the course, right? You just need to go through a small percentage that pertains to you and what your life circumstances are. And for me, it was learning crypto, learning stocks, and I wanted to take my stocks and my crypto to a whole new level, and you did that for me. And then also, like, something that I didn't really know that I needed as much was your networking. I know that you pound that in from us from the very beginning, but like, I was just like, okay, yeah, Chris, whatever. But like, it just was one of those things that like, it just kept on doing. And then like the network, it just became something. And like, this is, I have a story for you and later of like maybe securing my dream job through just networking and doing the things that you taught us in class. And yeah, I'm excited to also go through the other questions.
No, I'm so happy you're with us as well. And so Payton started a couple of companies during the program. One of them is called GameReport.io, where he's a leading expert globally now when it comes to NFT and blockchain gaming. So just go to GameReport.io, check out his YouTube channel as well, which is exploding. And I'm so humbled you guys are both with us today. Okay, great.
Thanks, Chris.
Please. And then Christina, what is the one thing you've learned during the program that you use every day?
The one thing I've learned, for me, it's about building routine and being committed to something and staying hyper-focused. For me, I feel like you have to plan, because if you plan your days out and, Professor Chris, literally in the first week of class, he gives you a one-pager where you write the night before, you write down what your to-dos of what you want to accomplish, what your goals are, and then you actually rate yourself at the end of the day. So for me, I'm super competitive. So I really, hyper-focused on that. And for me, that's why I love our co-opetition. I have the bulletproof coffee with MCT oil and grass-fed butter, and then the water challenge. And it's exciting for me because I'm not a water drinker before this. Cheers.
It helps though, eh? It keeps you energized. We talk about biohacking as well in the personal growth sector. Or part of that program,
And the thing is that it was really great when I signed up for the MBA program. I'm one of those people that are 110% committed. So for me, it's like I did time zone 1 and time zone 2. On Mondays and Tuesdays and Thursdays, and Professor Chris knows he always looks for so I always start off the same thing, like good morning, Chris and our amazing global MBA family, and then I'll write like where I'm at this week, in drinking and like my walks. We do a steps challenge too
every day,
and it's just amazing because being accountable, and when you know that you have other people looking towards you for that, and you step into your greatness and become a true leader just by leading by example. And, I signed up for the HEB program because of the COVID bonus. My daughter, who was, in kindergarten when COVID hit, she was distance learning, sitting right next to me. So I was sitting next to her. I'm like, well, I should be doing something. So Christian, my husband, he wanted a Udemy Chinese course to learn Chinese because he's half Brazilian, half Chinese. And I signed him up for it. And then I said, let me check out Udemy for myself for some classes. And I searched entrepreneurship, and then Professor Chris, came on. And I'm like, who is this person? So I Googled you, and then I saw that you had weekly webcasts every Thursday. So I started following you, and I was so blown away by you, Chris, with your commitment. I'm like, ask you anything? I'm like, who is this person that spends 3 hours and just answers questions from around the world for everyone, every kind of questions. And I was just I admire your dedication. So then when you were opening up your open house, the very first open house on October 9th, 2020, I'm like, sign me up. I want to talk to you. And that was the epic 12-hour open house.
It was unbelievable.
Call.
I didn't leave once. Yeah. And hopefully we can beat that record. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
And that was so amazing. And it changed my life. And what part changed me was when everybody came on Zoom, your students from your 2019-2020 class and all of us who were prospects who were interested. And your commitment and just the passion that you had is so contagious that I'm like, I need to be in this ecosystem. I need to be, because I always learn, love your family, choose your peers, and you're as good as your weakest link. And you always share with us, your net worth is your net work. And from personal experience, that is so true. Every job I ever got in my career, even as a C-level executive, as VP in public, was all word of mouth, was all somebody saying, Christina, this president wants to meet with you because you would be the perfect fit. You need to. So didn't do resumes, didn't do any of those things. It was all about that interpersonal relationship of people.
That's what happened with me too, Christina.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's so true.
Professor Chris, you teach that to us every single day about how you can lead us to the water, but you can't make us drink. But the greatest thing is the fact that I take away is every day I'm committed to making a difference for at least one person in my life. And the Haroun Education Program opened me up to over 1,000 peers of people who are like-minded, because we're all part of your ecosystem of learning, of commitment, of having empathy, of making a difference in the world, and my big life motto is the 3 C's. My husband and I, we're both Christian, Christina. So I live by connection, contribution, and collaboration. And, I've brought that to this program. My kind of life motto, and it's made such a difference. It's been an honor for me to be the alumni, and humbled to be the alumni president for this school year, because I love being a stand for each and every person. And the commitment is to inspire everyone to connect, to collaborate, and to contribute, because there's no better gift in life than to knowing you make a difference, that you matter. And for you to having empathy and helping another person, there's nothing better that makes me want to wake up in the morning to doing. And you created that world for us, because that's your stand, your mission is to bring, education to the masses in an edutaining way. So
we have, God bless you for that. We have such an amazing culture. Our students are so amazing from all over the world. And again, we learn more from each other than the curriculum itself. And so we're very, very blessed to have you. All right, next question is, start with Payton again. What was your favorite part of the MBA program?
Wow, it's very hard. So I came into the Haroun Education to like the stock market analysis. And so I really wanted that 100-step diagram. I wanted it so bad. I was actually looking through URLs to find it. And
I'm gonna share it with everybody today as well, later on today.
Oh, wow. Yeah, definitely a gem. And I shaped my whole business around that. So like when it comes to like the step process and the fundamental evaluations and technicals that Chris does and goes over in the stock market portion, you could just spend like your whole time there. And I did, to be honest, for a very long time. I rewatched over and over again. And I just got obsessed with like the stock markets. And then he got into the crypto course. And I just was like, oh, this is me, right? This is me, like beyond a shadow of a doubt. And so probably like it's equivalent for like the stock market and crypto sections of it. And then also Venture Capital Bootcamp. But like, I wouldn't say like any of the courses are like my favorite other than the one-on-ones. And the one-on-ones is really what shaped me, right? Like going over and talking to you like, hey, like this is my YouTube channel. I have 300 subs and now it's over 7,000 now, nice. Within like a few months. Thanks, Christina. And just like the things that like you just back and forth, like your experience and your thought process on how to deal with things just gives another perspective, right? And it's something that like for me as a younger individual, I don't have that perspective. I haven't traversed life with you being an investment banker and all that kind of stuff. hedge fund and all that kind of stuff with Goldman Sachs. I just never went through that. And so like understanding like the Venture Capital Bootcamp and like what people are looking for VCs and how to like carry myself, right? There's many VCs that wanted to buy out my company, and like I say no, like that's not what I'm doing, that's not what I am. And yeah, like that, if I didn't go through the stock markets, the financial investments, and the accounting classes, and then the networking classes and all that stuff, if I didn't go through that, like I wouldn't be prepared for the fortunes that I've been having in the crypto space, and being kind of like that thought leader within the crypto gaming space, which, yeah, humbly, like a lot of that credit goes to you too, Chris.
No, please. No, you're amazing, man. And I'm so blessed you're part of the program. Now, what Payton was referring to is we have Venture Capital Bootcamp in the third semester in the entrepreneurship track. And there's 5 classes where I teach you how to start a company, your go-to-market strategy, soups and nuts, everything, writing a business plan, etc. It's based on my humble real life practical experience working in venture capital and actually running boot camps as well. So we're very blessed to have you. Yeah, that's great.
And just to that point, and that's kind of what made me think about the aspect of switching over to Game Report, because I know that I started binge learning with you as well, and I ended up switching over to the Game Report because of like the total addressable market and like some of the questions that like you put for Venture Capital Bootcamp, and like ended up being the right decision, right? That's what kind of happened. My YouTube channel probably would be very low compared to where it is now. So
incredible. No, you've done great things. Very inspiring. Thank you. How about you, Christina? What would you say is your favorite part of the program?
That is, like Payton said, a really difficult question to say because, for me, being one of your raving fans, the entire program really has been the perfect synergy. You put together really such a great kind of ecosystem for all of us to learn things, even things we don't know we didn't know that we should know. That's what makes a huge difference. For me, because I've been a lifelong learner, I'm passionate about learning anything and everything in general all the time throughout my 45 years now. And, I would say in the MBA program, my favorites, because I love that you start off with the foundational personal growth, because that really lay the groundwork for everything else that we build upon on top of it. I love how you reinforce knowledge. I love all the quotes that you say at the start splash screen of every class in time zone 1, time zone 2, and then how you tie it in with quotes throughout. And teaching us in an edutaining way is really so powerful because we remember. Yeah. And the fact that we can go back to the recordings and be able to rewatch things. I love your power search where you can search for things so it's applicable, because I've been through the traditional education in the US and I benefit from it. And then learning what applied learning is, which is really what Haroun Education Ventures MBA program does, is the fact that I could take something right now that you teach me and apply it in real life to what I'm doing. I work for a nonprofit for special needs kids. I could take the things you're teaching the other day on presentation, and I was able to bring it to my team meeting on Thursday and be able to share my experience and knowledge and have that confidence to convey a message, to bring in new things and new, philanthropic, donors. Those are huge skill sets, because in life, we never know what we're going to come across. And the way you teach us is a really broader kind of global view, like being a social entrepreneur, being, someone who can get a job if you want, and you teach us the fundamentals of how to interview. For us, like for Christian, he was setting up his studio because he wants to interview game executives and game industry pros. So for him, Matt Lacouche, your chief creative officer, who's amazing.
He's great,
Of course, you guys are so lucky what you guys will get in the last semester, being able to get Matt Lacouche to kind of teach his classes. And then he will actually spend the time and look at your backdrop and say, okay, you need to tweak this. It's just 2 millimeters sometimes, little tweaks, in the settings of your camera, of your lighting, how important lighting is and sound. And Professor Chris, you teach us step by step the real practical things that we can apply right away, which is so invaluable. You don't get that in any other formal education. Being able to do that. And, for me, I have 45 people, like I said earlier, like ask me, why would I do this program? I say, I don't see why wouldn't I, because of so much of what I've gotten and being able to pay it forward. So much of what you taught me, I have paid it forward at every chance I get from every place I go, because I love people and sharing. So
given you'll receive, it's prophetic. It's been true since the beginning of time. Thank you for that. So Payton, what advice would you give someone thinking about taking the program?
Yeah, I would just go for the first 30 days, watch everything, and then get your money back. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I have to mention. I have to tease. Are you enjoying being in the Marines? I'm so
yeah, exactly. Well, that's what we're kind of about with each other, right? I talk about the 30-day guarantee, and then you talk about me being in the Marine Corps when I'm actually in the Navy. Sorry. I was just trying to execute that joke as good as possible. Now I don't know what to say.
Your delivery was great. That was good.
Thank you. I think the advice that I would do is it really depends on what stage in life that you are, right? Yeah. For me, I had actually executable things, and what I really like about I went straight to the platinum just because I wanted that one-on-one with Chris, right? I wanted to talk to him about some of the thoughts were coming into my head. And that's what a lot of people, and that's kind of the people that I want to talk to in the audience, is you have an entrepreneurial spirit that you want to start a YouTube channel, or you want to do something, and you just want to bounce ideas off of somebody that has been there, have done something, and Chris is that person for me, right? So that is a really great resource, and he is very good at knowing his students and teaching him. So you can have access to Chris so much. You could still go on Thursdays. I still ask questions on his Thursday channels, and also in the weekday. Then you can also just refine direct questions to do for the one-on-ones. He helped me go through my LinkedIn profile, and every single day to this day, people are saying I get search views from all my friends that are hey, I just so you know, I looked at your LinkedIn. I just stole a whole bunch of your layout. Yeah, for sure, go for it. It's Chris's anyways. And for me, it's really know what you want to do. Gold, is still a very great value. You can always upgrade later. And that's one thing I really like about Chris was that, if you want to upgrade to from silver to gold or gold to, platinum, he kind of leaves that open for you to do. I went straight to platinum because I wanted to know, are my ideas in my head good ideas? And I needed to get somebody other than my mom, right? And some people on Reddit or whatever is hey, is this a good idea? And he was very honest, right? He's always very intellectually honest, saying hey, I wouldn't recommend that because, the total addressable market, there's not much in there. Do you think that this is going to be a industry that's going to be here more or less, right? Very simplified.
Or I'll steal your idea after I say that.
Absolutely, 100%. He already has. And so that's the thing. I'm just kidding. Yeah, and also you become friends with Chris, right? The one thing that is more than anything, he is somebody that I cherish and I love to be around. And you never really feel like that about your professor growing up, into schools and everything like that. I'm here after the class is done, and I talk to Chris, and he helps me and he guides me. And every time I have a question, I hit him up on LinkedIn. It's hey, you got a minute, right? And he's there for me, Not saying everybody go hit him up on LinkedIn. He's going to have to go through a lot, and then minds get buried. So let's not do that. And so, but anyways, really just figure out what you want to do. If you're hungry and you really want to get that one-on-one conversation with Chris, I can't pay that back. Forever, the amount of money and the X's that I've got on my investments and my business and everything like that, worth the money. I would pay way more than that. And that's all I'll say. I know it also sounds very shilling, right? Chris is not telling us to say this stuff. it just has changed our lives, me and Christina included.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
so for me, it's like I'll gladly take DMs in like LinkedIn or anywhere that you need me to go to like say like, hey, did you really mean that? Like I do, but like if you want further verification or understand like what I did on the steps of what I did based on Chris's course, hit me up. I will let you know.
God bless.
Go ahead, Christina.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Christine, what advice would you give somebody thinking of taking the program?
So I could just say from my standpoint, so after the open house, I had a conversation with my husband about, joining this program because it is a commitment.
Yeah.
That's the thing. People have to realize that it's a 1 year and for me, it was an intensive program and there was a commitment there. But yes, like Professor always says, this is your MBA. You can watch as much of it, as little of it. You can, finish all of it and get a diploma I didn't do it to get a diploma. I didn't do it to, but I was 110% commitment because I needed my husband's partnership to do that because it would take time away from day-to-day stuff because I was in both time zones, fully committed and learning. And for me, that's the thing. You have to be in the right mindset, commit to it, and if possible, do the live time zone 1, time zone 2, if possible. If you can't, it's totally understandable. You could do the recordings, which is just as powerful. But for me, I'm all about the engagement. I knew I wanted to build a new community of peers to have like-minded. So I was committed. I pre-calendared everything in Google, all the time blocks, and I made sure that I, come to class if possible. The only time, I think I missed 5 classes out of the whole year because I had to take Isabella to her dentist appointments or her, doctor appointments. That was probably it. But I still made it up later on. That's
just so you guys know. Just so you guys know, I was not like that. So there's a wide variety of
it's flexible. Yeah.
And that's why it's so great. That's why this program is unique compared to so many others, is that you can almost put together your own, formula of how you approach it. But for me, I got the most value out of it because I knew that's what I needed in this stage of my life. I knew I wanted something where I could be 110% committed to it and seeing what happens and what I could see from the other end of it. And I tell people, this program is not just a 1-year program from my own experience, because the amount of stuff you're going to learn if you focus on all 5 and now the 6th pillar, it's a lot of content. And it's amazing that you put this together because you get to pick and choose, but at the same time, for me, I literally said I want everything on the menu because I want to be that, student to learn everything. But what's really powerful is that it's after, Chris. It's really what's made such an impact. After, now this year, I signed up because thank you for grandfathering us in to the goals for the new cohort.
For sure.
Because that's a huge difference because now, while I'm in the time zone 1, time zone 2 classes still, I'm now fine-tuning and seeing how do I apply the principles, the frameworks into my everyday, into my new chapter of my life, in my business plan. How do I execute now? And being able, because last year was all about just absorbing and learning and, trying to just keep up, with the amount of information. And this year I've transitioned to now saying, okay, how do I become that thought leader? How do I tweak my LinkedIn to, applying and doing? Because, there's something to learn. The power is not in the knowledge. The power is in the application and the action you take from the plan you made, is what I've learned. Because you can learn, I could sit in front of Zoom, I could sit in front and be on all these webinars, especially the past 2 years. But until you make a plan and you execute and take action, for me, it's not real. It's only part of the life cycle of what you're trying to accomplish.
And we all hold ourselves accountable too as part of the team-based effort. That's great.
Exactly. And what is really powerful is being able to have access to you in the live chat, being able to listen to the class and ask the questions right away and getting feedback from you answering the question, but also getting each other, the peers, engagement and interaction and building that community. Like, that's why I say it's every day is my amazing global MBA family, because that's really the ecosystem, the world you've helped create for us, is that being able to having peers to be able to engage with, talk to. I love that you have the Slack channel that we can talk offline. You know, we now have this great alumni, you know, LinkedIn group where we can engage in. I love our monthly alumni calls, you know, that we get to share, you know, do our pitches, share our business plans that we were creating from semester 3 from your Venture Capital Bootcamp, and now applying it because people are actually now come writing out their business plan and they need help. So we support each other. We're each other's focus groups. You know, to do like a focus group can cost like 15 to 25,000 at times, but now we're each other. We're there to listen to each other, share ideas, resources, collaborate if possible. So it's really, you know, powerful. And what you get is what you put into it. So I suggest for anyone who is on this call and is thinking about signing up, think about what you want to get out of, you know, the next year, because a year passes really fast. You know, I couldn't believe when December 18th came and we had our first in-person graduation and alumni reunion. That blew my mind. Like, I couldn't believe it because, you know, every day might be slow, but every month and year is going by pretty fast. So,
and if anybody wants to check out the just the alumni videos and images, pictures, all that great stuff where we rented the place, just go to harounmba.com/alumni, all lowercase. harounmba.com/alumni. Okay, so next up, we're almost done with the questions here. And then what I'll do is very soon I'll give the 3 gifts to everybody as well. So let's go to Payton. Payton, please comment on the networking opportunities and friendships you develop with your classmates from all over the world. Thanks.
Yeah, Christina hit on it a lot. The network is amazing, right? So like in terms of the connections that people have, as well as just the culture. I think that's just something that like what the United States is very guilty of, and I am guilty of, is the aspect of like understanding different views and culture. And to be honest, in this global type of world that we're living in now, like that is what's probably one of the most beneficial things that's not really talked about much in the Haroun Ventures, is because the thing is that like, you know, on a global scale, we're all kind of getting communications to each other, and understanding the world like benefits you in a huge way. And so for me, I wasn't really thinking that was like a perk or anything like that. I was just like, okay, cool. Like, you know, there's people from all over the world, but how they see things is like really also in an investment standpoint, like really gives you a full picture on like, okay, oh, wow. Oh, you mean this? Like we had a conversation with people from China, from Germany, from all kinds of places, right? And you got to see like, oh, this is how people think about us, and this is what like people think about them. And like, okay, the truth is what, right? And we have these conversations. I remember like a few weeks ago, we were on like Thursday call meeting, and like we talked for like 2 hours talking about like, you know, China, United States, Russia, Ukraine, all that kind of stuff. And it was just such an enlightening experience. So the network of that is like understanding culture, and it makes you so much better of an investor too, right? Like if you're not just like wanting to understand stuff, like but just like really get into the minds of like other people around the world and how they think, that's really important. So yeah, I think that's something that's not much talked about, but I think is really amazing.
Yeah, we have a great network. And Christina, what are your thoughts on just the networking abilities with people all over the world in the program?
Well, I think it's really amazing because of the fact that, you know, one of the greatest things that you helped me along the way last year was I asked you, oh, you know, can we set up like Zoom meetings for particular topics or things within, you know, our class? And you told me, and you really empowered me, like, Christina, this is your MBA, you know, take it however way, put as much you want into it. And that's when I started the Haroun Education's Alumni, our class, a weekly happy hour Zoom meetings every Sunday at 10:30. And by you empowering me, taking that, walking into my greatness and into that leadership role and having that commitment, it's made all the difference because I've been able to really engage and connect with so many of my classmates, from around the world, really. Because literally it's every Sunday at 10:30. I go on Zoom. I wait for people to jump on, and we share everything. We share about personal, we share about professional, about what we're up to, what we're thinking about current events. We share about things that we're taking away from class, things that we want to kind of drill down more on and how to support each other. A lot of peers are coming up with products and services and their business plan, and we help each other. We're communicating where someone will pitch their idea, but only a part of it, because they don't know how to do the rest of it. And then we will chime in and kind of give our 2 cents, or they're like, oh, what do you think about this packaging? This, I'm thinking about this logo. Like, does this work better or does this work better? And we're right there giving real-time feedback to each other. And that's so invaluable because, being able to have a safe space where there's an open forum and knowing we won't be judged for our differences of opinions.
Absolutely.
And that everyone is welcome, and having that really collaborative kind of co-opetition mindset where everyone knows they can freely share about what is going on personally, professionally, is so invaluable this day and age because, so many people are divided in thoughts and viewpoints, that to be able to have this safe space of knowing that we're all like-minded, we're all in the same, we're all in it to win it for each other, that there's enough, space of this entire world for us to all do things, even people with similar industry, right, initiatives that they want to create businesses for, that we're not like, oh, we can't talk about it now because you're doing the same thing. We're really there for each other to say, okay, how do we build out? Because the total addressable market is so big that, there's room for everyone. So being able to having that, I think it's priceless. And then the feedback I get, people love it. I mean, it's now, I thought it was going to end maybe in December when my class graduated, but we're still doing it every week. People are like still, and I actually added to that being the alumni president this year, where we have the monthly calls with just our class, and then also the monthly alumni Zoom meetups where, last meeting was epic with over 30 of us from around the world coming together, sharing best practices for, becoming a successful entrepreneur was the topic in April, and people loved it. People said, can we do it again next month? Because we didn't have 3 hours wasn't enough for the call.
Embracing the cross-cultural differences of the student body from all over the world is priceless. It really is. It's amazing. Okay, let me take some questions from the audience now. So if anybody has questions for Payton or Christina or both, just type up at Christina or at Payton and the question, and I'll read them out here. Okay. All right, let me go through here to see if there's any questions. Okay. Simon wrote here, Christina, I've seen focus groups go north of $60,000. Yeah. And let me see if we have any other questions here. So type your questions now if you guys have any. Hold on a second. A lot of these questions here are more specific for me to answer, which I'll get to soon, I promise you. Okay, cool. Great. So what we'll do is we're going to have a networking session later on today when you can join Zoom and ask as many questions as you want and get to know each other. And so if you have questions for each other at that point, we can address them then. Guys, I want to thank you so much for your time. This has been incredible. You guys inspire me so much. Thank you. Thank you.
If anybody has questions after, if people are watching a recording of this in the future, definitely you can hit up Payton and I on LinkedIn. Just look for our names, and we'll be happy to answer anybody's questions. We're around, and thank you so much, Professor Chris.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being
here.
Love you, Chris. You guys are great. Love you guys too.
Love you, Christina. You're this leader.
All right, take care.
I love you, Chris.
All right, thank you. Love you guys too. Take care. All right, that was fun. All right, let me get back over here to Wirecast now, and I'll get back into character. I'm not tall enough here in this angle. Okay, great. Just move my treadmill over a little bit. Here we go. Okay, great. So before we do Zoom together and before I answer your questions, what I want to do is I want to move on to our final topic. And then I'll very shortly tell you how to get the free audiobook course. There's 3 free things I'm giving you guys later on today, which I hope you enjoy. Yeah. So our final topic before our endless Zoom call is based on questions that you all emailed me about. And I want to answer them by discussing tips to help you take your career to the next level, based again on the many emails I received over the past week from my students in response to my email question of, what do you want me to teach next? So I won't be able to answer all of them, obviously, but what I did was I grouped everything into 3 different categories here. I'm trying to get a little taller here. And those 3 categories are as follows. Networking to get what you want, increasing confidence in business, and then number 3, building your personal wealth. So what I'll do is I'll kick it off with the first topic here, which is networking to get what you want in business. So Kwame emailed me and asked, how do I find my dream job? Well, your network is your net worth, and people want to help you. All you got to do is ask. Ask and you'll receive. It's prophetic. It's been true since the beginning of time. Now, one way to get your dream job is to network by doing many informational meetings. Now, when I used to teach at universities during the evenings, I would ask my students on the first day of class, and I teach for 10 weeks. On the first day of class, I would tell my students, all 70 of them, if I told you that you set up 10 informational meetings over the next 10 weeks, that you are guaranteed to get your dream job, would you do it? And all 70 hands go up. Everyone's like, yeah, for sure, man, I'll do it. And then 10 weeks later, right before the final exam, which was always easy, I would ask, how many people here did 10 meetings? No hands go up. How many did 9? No hands go up. How many did 8? And a couple of hands would go up. And those students that put up their hands that did 8 or fewer informational meetings, they always got the job of their dreams, and they never had the top grades. So the best way to do it is to reach out to people by networking that have something in common with you. And the easiest way for me to explain this is, let's imagine, it's 20 years from today, and you're all 20 years more successful than you already are. And this younger person reaches out to you on LinkedIn. And this person went to the same school as you, and they're from the same hometown, and they're from the same organization maybe you were in, or a charitable organization. And they ask you, hope all is well, please let me know if you have time for a quick Zoom call. Would you take that meeting with that 20-year younger version of you? Of course you would. The problem is we don't ask. But people want to help you. All you have to do is ask. Now, once you get these informational meetings with people in sectors or industries you want to work in, you never jump right into business. You want to bond first. Okay, so business is about relationships first and product knowledge second, always. And I remember I went on this streak of not being able to get a job for ages. I went to a gazillion interviews. And my problem was this. I would show up and I'd talk about business right away. It doesn't work that way. Business is about people. And so what you have to do is bond with them for the first 10 minutes. How do you do it? Well, you can go to their Twitter profile to see who they follow, and you know what to talk about. You don't want to say, I was stalking you on your Twitter profile, but just if they follow, say, baseball players or teams, you can talk baseball. If they follow actors, you can talk about the movies. If they're from the same hometown you're from, you can say, is that diner still open on Main Street, etc. You got to bond first. Always bond. Otherwise, you won't get what you want in life. And it's true because it's fascinating. A lot of people, when they're younger, they get good grades in school. They keep their heads down, they get good grades. And life works for them. Their parents are proud of them. They're proud of themselves. Then you get a job. And after a while, you look around, you realize, oh my God, other people are getting promoted and raises faster than I am. They're not smarter than you, but what they did was they asked for raises. They mentored. They found mentors in the organization as well. You have to ask multiple times. And I'll teach you how to do that in much more detail in the MBA program. We talk about networking on steroids. Okay, so we talk about networking in the MBA degree program in a lot of detail. Now, Christina mentioned a feature called Power Search, and I'll show you what this means. So everything I teach is indexed. You can get quick access to everything. So let me just go over here, hit the right pedal. There we go. So if you go up to my website, Haroun MBA, and up here you type in any topic, you'll see where we cover it in the MBA program. So you type in networking right here, okay? And what you see here is a bunch of YouTube videos on me doing networking over the years. I've answered 10,000 questions live. It's all indexed now. But right here, when you click here, you can see where in the MBA program I talk about this. Now you'll see here that it says silver, but actually, if you click here, you'll be able to get access to the same content in gold or platinum as well. Okay, so for example, to learn about networking, you click here and it'll tell you exactly where to access it within the program. And once you purchase it, it'll jump right to that page automatically. Okay, so this is called Power Search. Everything is indexed here, everything I've ever talked about before. So you know that with silver, you get 300 hours. But in gold, you get 300 hours of the on-demand stuff plus 200 hours of Q&A. And then platinum, you get everything in gold plus the 3 hours of one-on-one coaching as well. All right, let me get back here to answer more questions quickly so I can give you guys those free gifts and stuff. Okay, cool. All right, so the next email question I got is from Ram. And Ram asked me, how do I climb the corporate ladder quickly? And how do I get a raise or a promotion? Well, as I mentioned a second ago, you have to always ask. Nobody has ever made CEO or manager or vice president in a company without asking many times first. Here's how you do it. First of all, you find mentors in the organization that have been there for a while that understands who the key decision makers are. And also, I want you to get mentored by the assistant or secretary or assistant, they say these days, that works for your boss as well. Because he or she knows exactly how things get done. And they've worked with that boss for many companies over many years. They usually go together. And so what you need to do also is once you get a big win and you're congratulated by your boss, you got to then tell your boss, great, do you have time to sit down for just a quick meeting, quick coffee meeting? And of course they'll say yes. And during that meeting, you start by saying, if true, as a team, we've accomplished a lot together. I'm really proud of what we've accomplished. That being said, if true, it's very expensive to raise a family here in the Bay Area or wherever you live. And I'd love to understand how I can please add more value so I can ask for a promotion or a raise. So please let me know what more value do I need to accomplish or deliver to this team in order to get a promotion. And they'll tell you exactly what you need and you'll write it all down. And then 3 to 6 months later, after you fulfill those steps of criteria and you get congratulated again by your boss, you sit down again and you tell them, we've accomplished a lot as a team, yada, yada, all that good stuff. And then you say, last time we met, you mentioned that if I had fulfilled this criteria here, I'd be able to get a promotion or a raise. And I'd love to humbly ask you, please, for a raise or promotion. That's how it works behind closed doors. Again, no one's ever made CEO or department head or vice president without asking many times for a promotion. It's just the way it works. And you got to find lots of mentors at work as well because people want to help you. All you got to do is ask. Okay. All right, moving on to Arun asked a question, which is, I'm a techie living in India. How do I get to the United States? And so one way to do it, because I know it's tough with visas from any country to another country. One way to do it is you find a company in your country that has the mothership or headquarters in another country. And you work at that company, do exceptionally well, get promoted a number of times. And then what happens is, in order to make it to vice president, they usually relocate you to the mothership, meaning the corporate headquarters. It's kind of a long-term focused methodology there, but it does work. Yeah. All right. Next question I had was from Sisakel, who said, I don't have a dream job and I'm reaching 40 years old. Am I too old? Absolutely not. The average life expectancy today is 26 years longer than it was back in the 1950s. And what that means is you're all 26 years younger than you think you are. So if you're 55, you're 29 years old. And I'll teach you a ton of networking tips so that you can reinvent yourself no matter what your age is and change careers no matter what your age is as well in the MBA program. A lot of it comes down to networking. Yeah. Okay, next up in terms of networking to get what you want, Alessandra asked me, how do I find my passion? Well, the best way to think about it is this way. If I give you 30 days off and you can't work and you can't travel and you can't go to school, what would you do with your time? Whatever it is, that is your passion, that is your raison d'être, that is your purpose. And that's what you were meant to be doing, no matter what anybody tells you. And I'm humbly here to help you make that career change to whatever you're most passionate about. Because as I said earlier, if you chase money, you lose your dreams and your money. But if you chase your dreams, as long as you're willing to fail a bunch of times and not give a damn what people think of you, then something wonderful happens. Your dreams come true and the money follows accidentally. It always does. It always does. Okay. Next up, Atul asked me, how do I find investors? And then, so in addition to setting up many networking meetings, you need to write a thorough business plan and prepare 10 simple slides. Okay, so there's the Venture Capital Bootcamp that I mentioned earlier in the program. And if you do a search here in Power Search, and let me go there again, hit the right pedal. I should be on a step stool here, man. Okay. If you go here again to the top of my website, and you just do a search for Venture Capital Bootcamp, you'll see where it comes up in the program as well, right? So I teach you how to start a company. I put you through a venture capital bootcamp as well, based on my experience having worked in venture capital. Okay, so everything is indexed. Okay, so next question I've got here is, here we go. Next question is from Victor, which is, how do I get big clients? Well, one way to do it, and I found, by the way, that small customers are more work than big customers, because small customers usually have a larger percent of their net worth with you, and they need more handholding. So how do you elephant hunt? How do you find big clients? Well, one way to do it, and business is war, it's very competitive. One way to do it is you find out who the salespeople are at your competing firm, the firm that competes with you, okay? And once you find out who the top salespeople are, and it's easy to do on LinkedIn, then you go to their Twitter profiles and you see who they follow. Because I promise you, they follow their biggest customers. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to go right to the top. And I love meeting with CEOs directly, because there's no BS and you get stuff done right away, right? And if they can't help you, they'll tell you who the decision maker is in the company. And so here's one way I've met with many CEOs that anybody can do. I go to annual investor meetings, or I go to the annual shareholder meeting. And anybody can go to these annual shareholder meetings and get access to almost anybody on the planet. And so what happens in these annual shareholders meetings is hardly anybody shows up. It's true. And they're usually in a hotel or at the corporate headquarters, and they have bad coffee. And at the end of the event, what happens is the C-level executives, meaning the CEO, CFOs, head of sales, whatever, they don't leave until everybody else leaves. Because in the audience are board members and other employees. So they don't leave until everyone's left. So you can go up to them and corner them or talk to them. And when you talk to the CEO, let's say you want to sell a product to their firm, you can ask them, would you be interested in this sort of product? Obviously, you do a little bit of small talk first, like, hi, how are you and stuff. But you ask them, would you be interested potentially, or who in your firm might be interested in purchasing a product or learning more about what I do, because I really humbly think it can help your company. And if the CEO can't help you, then you ask, well, what's the name of the person at your company? And they'll tell you. And they'll do it because there's all the other C-level executives and board members and employees around them. And they've got to set a good precedent here. And so once you get the name of that person in the organization, you can email that person and say, I spoke to your CEO who said I could contact you about this. And yes, they're going to answer and give you that meeting. Next up, Shiva asked about uploading her resume to job boards in order to get a job. So I don't believe in sending in your resume because you see a job opening. And the reason I say that is because it's statistically proven that if you just send in your resume and you see a job opening online, your chance of getting that job is literally 1 out of 250. And the person that usually gets that job is the person that knows somebody at that company. So all you have to do is network using LinkedIn and the methodologies I teach you in the MBA program to get a ton of networking meetings with people that work at a certain company. And then you give them your resume, and I provide you with tons more templates or arrows in your quiver or tools in your toolbox in the MBA program. You help them with whatever role they're in. You give them your resume and ask them to refer you. And I can go into more detail on that right now if you want to, but it takes a lot of time, and it's something I talk about in the MBA program, more details. Okay. All right, so next up, what I want to do is I want to talk about the next category, which is increasing your confidence in business. And again, these are based on questions I've gotten from students over the past a week and a half through email. Okay, so Hannah asked me, how can I increase my confidence when I'm presenting and in the workplace in general? Well, in the MBA program, we cover business writing and verbal communication in a lot of detail. And every battle is won before it's been fought if you prepare enough for a presentation. And this is kind of a bizarre psychology trick I'm going to teach you here. But right before you start a presentation, or right before you go into an interview, I want you to tell yourself this: I don't care if I get this job or this presentation goes well. I don't care. Yeah, I'm not saying be rude or disingenuous, but if you think about it, your family and friends love you for who you are. And if you're presenting and you make a mistake, the audience loves you. It's true, because you're being your more authentic self. And so I want to talk about a life-changing chart. And I'm going to draw it this way here, I think. Yeah. Okay. All right. So here's a chart. And on the x-axis here, the x-axis here is your age. Okay. And on the y-axis is give a damn. Okay. Give a damn. This is your age. When you're younger, you're down here. You don't give a damn what people think of you. Like my kids have meltdowns in restaurants. I'm sure I did when I was a kid as well. You just don't care. When you're older, you're right here as well. You just don't give a damn what people think. Old people don't have confidence problems. The problem is this: when you're in your 20s, 30s, and 40s, you're up here. You care what people think of you. And I call that the triangle of despair. And you've got to avoid this at all costs. And the best entrepreneurs in the world, they live at this level here, okay? Where they just don't care. They don't give a damn. A lot of them are not rude or disingenuous, but a lot of them actually, they never really care what people think of them. You know, and eventually they hire a stylist later on so they could, look half decent. Like Bill Gates, if you look at early pictures of Microsoft, it was ridiculous the way he looked. He didn't give a damn. Steve Jobs would show up to work with long hair, and he wouldn't shower for ages. You got to shower, but you know what I'm talking about. He didn't care. And they made him work the night shift because of that. And Mark Benioff, who's the founder of Salesforce.com, I used to see him in the lobby, in my building at One Market Plaza in San Francisco, walking his beautiful Labrador dog in bare feet with an untucked shirt. He just didn't care. You got to live at that level as well, where you just tell yourself, I don't care what people think of me. And if you don't do that, then you won't have the confidence to run after your dreams and achieve them. Because you shouldn't care if people, judge you in their minds because, you failed at something. As Les Brown said, someone else's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. And so here's your homework for today, please. I want you to get a piece of paper and a pen. And I want you to do this. And this is very therapeutic. And for when one teaches, two learn too. I want you to get a piece of paper and a pen, and I want you to write this down. I don't care about X, okay? And fill in the blank for X. For example, I don't care what people think of my career choice. I don't care what people think of my hair or my preferences in life. I don't care what anybody thinks about me. I'm going to live my life on my own terms. This is my life. Once you do that, you will reach this unbelievable level of nirvana or happiness that you never thought you could achieve before. And it's therapeutic too. Living your life on your own terms. And that's what I'm here for, is to humbly help you. Okay. And confidence leads to perceived confidence leads to perceived competence in business too. And the most attractive quality in many aspects of life is confidence. And nobody is smarter than you. And I believe that with my whole heart, that I actually licensed this video interview of Steve Jobs from the Silicon Valley Historical Association. This short video will change your life. Let's check it out.
When you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way it is, and your life is just to live your life inside the world, try not to bash into the walls too much, try to have a nice family life, have fun, save a little money. But life, that's a very limited life. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact, and that is everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. And you can change it. You can influence it. You can build your own things that other people can use. And the minute that you understand that you can poke life and actually something will, if you push in, something will pop out the other side, that you can change it, you can mold it. That's maybe the most important thing, is to shake off this erroneous notion that life is there and you're just going to live in it, versus embrace it, change it, improve it, make your mark upon it. I think that's very important. And however you learn that, once you learn it, you'll want to change life and make it better, because it's kind of messed up in a lot of ways. Once you learn that, you'll never be the same again.
It's pretty powerful stuff, eh? Next up, Singham asked, how can one overcome indecision and procrastination when starting up a new business? Well, if you want to get something done, give it to a busy person. And what you have to do is you have to schedule each day and write down your goals for each day. Don't do it on the weekends because it'll drive you cray-cray. But this is something that I provide you with in the MBA Degree Program, so you can be much more productive. And what you have to do also is when you come up with goals, you got to set deadline dates, because 90% of people give up on their New Year's resolutions by the third week of January because they don't set a deadline date. And with my daily system I provide you with in the MBA program, we set deadline dates. And you got to vocalize your goals too, and tell your friends about your goals, or loved ones, or people you trust. Because when you set deadline dates and you vocalize it, when you see them, they'll ask you for an update on your goals, which puts pressure on you, and I say it with love in my heart, to get stuff done. Okay, next up, Chitty asked me, how can I improve my ability to retain information when I read? Yeah. So I learned something from Steve Jobs years ago, which is if you take long walks throughout the day, you can accomplish a lot more. I know it sounds out there, but hear me out. Every day at 1 p.m., Steve Jobs would go on a walk by himself or with his best friend, Larry Ellison. And when you go on a walk, you're changing your environment and you're releasing serotonin. You treat this right, this works much better. And so what I do in this office here is, I'm kind of half staying on my treadmill because I screwed up the height here for the camera. But what I do is I have a treadmill here, and I go on walks. I walk 20,000 steps a day in my office on my treadmill. And I've got the cheapest treadmill in the world here, because there's no handlebars on the side of it. And I've got a desk that goes up and down. And so what I do is and you'll see the green screen doesn't work back here that well, but I'll go on these long walks. I'll walk 20,000 steps a day in my office. And you remember when you were younger, the first hour of every day when you studied was the most productive hour. And you remember when you used to cram at night, you spend 10 hours at night, and it wasn't as productive as the first hour of the day when you wake up. Well, if you biohack, like I'm talking about here, meaning go for a walk throughout the day or get a treadmill in your office or your home office, it feels like that first hour of the day productivity-wise and retention-wise all day long. And you can literally accomplish 10 times more every single day. Biohacking works exceptionally well. We talk about it also in the MBA degree program in the personal growth track. Next up, Rafi asked me, how do you set boundaries in your work-life balance? Well, once you start a new job, you got to articulate early on how important it is for you to spend time with your family. And they should respect you for that because if you're more happy, then you're more productive. And I'll never forget with Andrew, my oldest one here, the blue green screen's kind of messing things up here. Yeah. But I remember there was a daddy Sunday at school for breakfast. And I remember I couldn't go to that because I had a really, really important meeting. And I'm looking back now and I don't even remember what that meeting was for. I just remember not spending time with them that day. And by the time your child is 12 years old, you've already spent 90% of the time you'll ever spend with them, right? So you got to basically, on your first day of work, you got to, and I'm training you all to prepare for interviewing so thoroughly in this MBA program that if you follow my blueprint, you're going to ace your interviews, okay? And you'll be able to decide which job you want, okay? Because when you're interviewing, you're also interviewing them as well. And make sure they have a good family life balance. You know, for example, if they have kids, do they spend time with them during the week? If not, then they're not going to be a good manager. And it really bothers me how the world tends to worship or love these billionaire entrepreneurs that have, been married many, many times and they never see their kids. Are they happy? Well, they could be happier if they are well balanced, like I teach you in the MBA program with scheduling, etc. Okay, this methodology works really well. And by the way, I provide you with countless downloadable frameworks and templates in the MBA program so you can always work smarter and not harder. Yeah. All right, let's move on to the third and final part here before I give the three prizes and take all of your questions as well. All right, so here we go. Yeah. So this last final topic is called building your personal wealth. And so Josephine asked me, how do I start a business? And Dorian also asked me, how do I start a side hustle? Well, there's a famous saying that is, failing to plan is planning to fail. And most people don't write a business plan before they start a company, right? And that's terrifying because that's one of the most important decisions you can ever make in your life. And if you start a company without writing a business plan, that can bankrupt you. It can destroy your health and your personal life as well. And traditional MBA schools don't teach you how to start a company. In my MBA program, we dedicate a lot of time in the entrepreneurship pillar to writing your business plan and presenting to investors. And too often when people start a business, they think about the qualitative strategic planning and they don't really focus any or enough time on making the financial statements. And without data, it's just an opinion and nothing more. And so I teach you how to not only create a business plan, but also how to build the financial statements. And it's much easier than you think because each sector has one or two quantitative financial drivers that you should focus on, okay? Whether it's a stock you want to buy or a company you want to start. Okay, and I make it really simple to understand each sector. So for example, if you wanted to start a retail store or a restaurant, the number one thing to focus on is same-store sales. And that's what makes McDonald's stock go up or down, each day in the market is anticipation of an increase or decrease in same-store sales. Same thing with Lululemon stock. and ticker LULU. I'm Canadian. They're a Canadian company I got to represent. It's all about same-store sales. If you look at a hotel company, it's all about RevPAR, which is revenue per available room. If you look at cell phone companies, it's all about ARPU, or average revenue per unit. And so I break it down for you, and I make it easy for you to model the financials of any type of company. Yeah. All right. I just clicked the wrong pedal there. Give me 1 second. Sorry. All right. It's tough doing these things live. All right. Hold on 1 second. Go back here, one side. There we go. Okay. All right. Great. All right. And down below me, what I've got here, if you're curious, is I have 8 pedals. Okay. And when you interview and you're doing a Zoom interview, I'm going to teach you how to use a teleprompter attached to PowerPoint. So you click, it goes back between the different slides. Yeah. So anyway, every battle is won before it's been fought. That's how you over prepare. Okay. All right. Let me go back here to. Okay. All right. So next up, I've got here Ariane and many other people asked me about how to invest. And I don't want you to listen to anybody ever when it comes to what stock or crypto you should buy, including me. Now, I cover investing in crypto, stocks, options, etc., in a heck of a lot of detail in the MBA program. And I want to share with you one of the many templates I provide you with in this comprehensive MBA program so that you can come up with great investment ideas. And these templates, like the one I'm about to show you, they're like endless tools in your toolbox or arrows in your quiver. And so what I want to do is I want to show you one of the templates we use in the 4th semester that will help you analyze companies. And if you want, you can download this with me right now. And this is the one that Payton, when I was interviewing him and Christina, he and Christina spoke about. Okay. So give me 1 second to tee this up here. All right, here we go. All right. So if you go to HarounMBA.com, okay, /EMS-4-2. Okay, that's Economics Management Strategy Semester 4, Class 2. So go all lowercase, HarounMBA.com /EMS-4-2. And what we're going to do is we're going to download one of the many frameworks that I have in this program. Okay, so click here, then click download. Okay, and let's open it up. So in this spreadsheet here that I created for you, give me 1 second here. Go over to Excel. Here we go. Good. All right. So this is just one of the many tools I provide you with in the program. Okay, many templates. So this here is 100 steps for analyzing any company you want to invest in. And so along the top, I have qualitative research items like what's the product, the service, the target market, competition, etc. Then here I have the quantitative analysis. Remember, without data, it's just an idea, or it's just an opinion, not an idea. And then we got financials down here, like stock details, operating margins, cash flow, use of cash, balance sheet, income statement, that sort of thing. And as you go through this as well, on each one of these 100 tabs, you can click here to watch a video of me explaining how to use that tab. Okay, let me just mute this so you don't hear it in the background. But I explain it in a lot more detail as well. Okay, and after you enter in lots of items here, and I ask you tons of questions, you click here and you've got an automatic dashboard made for you, okay, which has charts of everything. Okay, here it is here. So for example, and this is just dummy data here, market share, geographic revenue exposure, every metric you can possibly think of for that company you're analyzing, okay, heat maps and everything. You can also click here to get a 1-page executive summary, right? And all the questions you answer here are fed into here automatically, and you could print it out as a PDF if you want to. And what also comes out of this is a detailed report that's 150 pages covering everything you need to know about that particular stock. Now, nothing like this exists on Wall Street. I worked on Wall Street for years at Goldman and in the hedge fund industry. I would love to have had a tool like this. But this is just one of many tools that I provide you with in the platform, or in the MBA program. Give me 1 second, get back on track here. Okay, cool. All right, next question I've got here, and we're almost done, is from Karen. Karen asked me about risk management when managing money. How do you think about that sort of thing? Well, based on my experience from raising and managing over $1 billion, I teach you basic, intermediate, and advanced portfolio diversification and risk management. For example, for your non-house net worth, if you have $100 to invest, you can't have more than 5% in any one particular stock or cryptocurrency or commodity. And we cover this in much more detail with many downloadable frameworks based on my work experience working on Wall Street at Goldman Sachs and in the hedge fund industry, including how to short stocks and many different option strategies as well. And I'm constantly adding more stuff to the program, as you all know. Okay, and I guess I'm going to skip the rest of these questions and I'm going to go directly to the giveaway for you guys. And then I'll take your, yeah, okay, cool. All right, so now in terms of the gifts, the way to get the gifts that I mentioned before is you can go directly to this web address. Okay, go to harounmba.com/gifts. So let me go there with you, okay? So give me 1 second. All right, so I'm going to go over here. Okay, so go to your browser, go to harounmba.com, okay, /gifts, all lowercase. Okay, great. Okay, so right here, this link, by the way, this is how to access Zoom, which we're going to start in a minute, okay, in case you guys want to join Zoom and ask questions and network that way with me. Okay, and then in order to access gift number 1 of 3, if you want to download the audiobook version of my book, 101 Crucial Lessons They Don't Teach You in Business School, which is on Audible, click here. Again, go to harounmba.com/gifts, all lowercase. The second gift is a brand new updated version of my book, 101 Crucial Lessons They Don't Teach You in Business School. And I added more than 100 pages of brand new content and videos to it as well. You can click here. Now, here's a course I'm giving away for free. It's called the Complete YouTube Course. And you can click here and download this if you want to. You can read a lot more about the MBA program here on this page as well. Again, go to harounmba.com/gifts, all lowercase. Okay. Now, before we go on to this next marathon session part of the program, I've got breaking news. Okay, breaking news, and I got to go to breaking news right now. I can hear it in my earpiece here, and I'll be right back. Thank you. Hello, my name is Bob Burgundy from Haroun News Network, that's HNN, and I've got breaking news for you. It looks like technology behemoth Apple is trying to buy Nintendo. Breaking news, breaking news. I don't know if the deal will go through. I have to ask a number of our strategic advisors here to help us out to find out if this deal in fact will go through. And so the first strategic advisor that I want to ask is an expert in economics management and strategy. He works at a consulting firm called McKinsey, and his name is Chip Patterson. Chip, what are your thoughts? Yes, thank you, Bob, for that introduction. This is an extraordinary deal, and I think it might make sense, but I'm not really sure yet. And so here at McKinsey & Company, we pride ourselves on advising the most incredible companies and government agencies in the world. And so by the end of this MBA degree program, my fellow classmates here will help me to analyze if this extraordinary deal makes a lot of sense or not. Thank you, and cheerio. Thank you, Chip. The next expert we're going to ask is a finance and accounting expert who works at an investment bank called MHS, Morgan Haroun Sachs. His name is Gordon Lizard. Gordon, what are your thoughts on this deal? Thanks, Bob. I really appreciate it, so here at Morgan Haroun Sachs, MHS actually, we're going to do a really deep dive to understand the financial statements of, Nintendo and Apple. And I pride myself on being an amazing investment banker. And we're actually going to have a lot of my fellow students here during the Haroun Education Ventures MBA Degree Program help me to build out the financials. And don't worry, I know a lot of us don't understand how finance and accounting works, but we will by the end of this MBA degree program. In fact, here's what we're going to do, We're going to figure it all out together. We're going to create the financial model, meaning the income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement, etc., for Nintendo as well as for Apple. And it's a bit complicated because Nintendo's an international company, and so their financial statements are a little bit different from Apple, but we're going to figure it out, and then what we're going to do is we're actually going to value the company using discounted cash flow, as well as price earnings multiple, price to revenue, and other metrics as well. And so that by the end of this MBA degree program, we will know how much Apple should potentially pay for Nintendo. Thanks, Bob. Back to you. Thank you, Gordon. Our next expert is somebody that knows a lot about sales, marketing, and communication, and his name is Stephen Ive. Stephen, you work at Apple. What are your thoughts on this deal?
Thank you, Bob. I appreciate it. Thanks. It's going to be important for me to convince our board and shareholders to approve of the deal. And I'm not much of a presenter, but I know that a lot of my fellow students here in the Haroun Education Ventures MBA Degree Program are going to be able to help me to learn how to present much better in the SMC classes, that's sales, marketing, and communication classes, so that they'll give me advice, and together we'll be able to learn how to present to the board of Apple and the shareholders to convince them to the deal makes sense or if it doesn't. Thank you, Bob. Back to you.
Thank you, Stephen. Our next expert is an entrepreneurship expert named Tony Shark. Now, Tony was about to sign an exclusive contract with Apple for his virtual reality goggles and his company, Shark Virtual Reality. Tony, is this deal still going through for you, or because Nintendo has a great VR product, does Apple no longer need you, Tony? And what are you going to do about this?
Yeah, thanks, Bob. So I was supposed to sign this exclusive contract with Apple for my, Shark virtual reality goggles. I think our product is a lot better than Nintendo's. And in the entrepreneurship track of this MBA degree program, my fellow students and I are going to work on a way to sell this product to Apple. And so this product's amazing. There's a hardware component to it, which has low margins. And then there's a software component to it with media, which is where you stream it, and it's really high margins. We got a great product here, much better than anybody else in the market. And so, last thing I'll say, Bob, and thanks again for having me on your show, is that by the end of this MBA degree program, my fellow classmates and I will be armed with this, and we'll have what it takes to be able to succeed in business and take our careers to the next level. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Our next guest is somebody off the street here, a random person I just met whose goal is to work at Apple. I want to ask you, from a personal growth perspective, how do you think you can get a job at Apple? So this guy's name here is Joe Jobs. How are you going to get that job?
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show, Bob. I really appreciate it. So my dream has always been to work at Apple, and I think I got what it takes. And I know that my fellow classmates and I in this Haroun Education Ventures MBA degree program, in the personal growth classes, we're going to learn just a ton so that we can all get the job of our dreams. We'll learn how to interview and all that stuff. But I'm looking forward to getting a lot of help from my fellow classmates so that we can get that dream job. I think I got what it takes. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you, Joe. Well, there you have it. We talked to 5 experts who are going to help us understand how this deal is structured, if this deal will go through and whatnot. And by the end of this Haroun Education Ventures MBA degree program, you will all be armed with enough skills to understand from 5 different perspectives whether or not this deal makes sense. And those 5 perspectives are as follows: economics, management, and strategy, sales, marketing, and communication, entrepreneurship, personal growth, and finance and accounting. I'm Bob Burgundy signing out here from
Haroun News Network, HNN.
All right. Thank you for letting me take a break there. Hope you laughed at me there, not with me. So what I want to do now is I'm going to go through questions you have about the program, and then I'll open up Zoom. And so you can see right here below me, I've got here, you can go to that web address there, which is harounmba.com/gifts, all lowercase. And there's where you can join Zoom. Okay, so what I'll start doing is I'll answer questions here. And once we got a bunch of people in Zoom, then I'll open up Zoom as well. And I've got a couple people that are waiting to get in. Okay, so I'm going to admit everybody here. And then what I'll do is I'll take questions from Zoom when we have them. And I'll jump back and forth here to YouTube as well. So join if you want on Zoom right now. Or you can join, or you can just ask me questions the other way. Give me 1 second to tee this up for you guys. All right, hold on a second. Okay, here we go. Good. All right. Here we go. Okay, cool. And remember, when you come on to Zoom, make sure that you mute your YouTube video on your screen. So whenever you guys are ready. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll go through questions here, and I'll read all comments here as well. Okay. Mohammed said, ready for action. Good to see you. Good morning, Huey, Craig, Ted. Good to see you all. First question I got here is from BMD, who wrote, Chris, how long does this open house usually go for, or does anyone else in chat know? Yeah, so it goes until there's no more questions. So as long as you guys want to do Zoom, or as long as you guys want to keep asking me questions, I'm here for you. I'm never going anywhere. Let's see if we can do this for at least a couple hours. Yeah. All right, cool. All right, so next up, hey, Leonard, how are you? And I saw you join the program. Awesome. I'm looking forward to working with you. Good to see Eileen. Eileen graduated a couple years ago from the program. Okay, let me see if I got any questions here. All right, a lot of comments. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, Arjun wrote, hi, Chris. I just enrolled for the June MBA Platinum program. Looking forward to classes today. Excellent. I'm looking forward to working with you as well. Thank you for that. Yeah. Okay. Okay, next question is from P. Hat, who wrote, yesterday you told me to use the RSI and moving averages as indicators for position decisions. I would like to ask you to use them for different time periods, like 1 hour, 1 day, 5 hours, etc. Yeah. No, I don't think it makes sense to look at 1 hour moving averages with stocks, unless they're incredibly liquid and they're trading like water. But I would definitely look at the 50-day and 200-day moving average mainly. Yeah, and it becomes self-fulfilling. It's because a lot of traders will look at that. They'll look at the 50-day and 200-day moving average, which means it's self-fulfilling. Yeah, as strange as that sounds. Yeah. Okay. Next question I've got here is, let me scroll down here. Okay. Carl is asking, is the content of the classes exactly the same? Is the difference with gold simply 200 hours of live Q&A? Yes. So silver and gold are identical. Okay. They all have, all three versions, silver, gold, platinum, have 300 hours, at least 300 hours of core lessons. But with gold, you get 200 hours of live Q&A. So with gold, I'll play a lesson and I'll take endless Q&A, either over Zoom or YouTube Live. And with platinum, you get everything you get in gold, plus you get access to 3 hours of one-on-one time with me as well. Okay, cool. Excellent. And Lehan is so happy you won the award. Excellent. Make sure to email admissions@harounventures.com. Yeah. All right. And looks like Simon is joining here as well. A bunch of people here. And when you have questions on Zoom, just start talking and I'll switch over to Zoom. Yeah. Otherwise, I'll just keep reading the questions here. There's Simon. There you go. Simon, how are you, man? Oh, looks like you're on mute. There you go. You're good. How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm doing great. It's that thing when you join and it goes on mute automatically. Good to see you again.
Good to see you again too, man. How's life? How are your kids?
Kids are good. I've been focusing on them a bit more than the work, procrastinating a bit. But I have written about 1 million lines of code since we last spoke. So. Oh,
nice. Metaverse stuff, right?
Yeah. I've been working on like this military technology that lets you get 10,000 people in a single SIM. So that's going really great. And
cool.
We got a music deal with a signed Warner artist as well. So that's another great thing coming up.
Nice. Excellent. It's cool, man. I got interviewed on Monday by Business Insider about the metaverse. And I talked a lot about the stuff that you and I talked about in our one-on-one. So thank you for that. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And that should come out this weekend. Yeah.
What do you think is happening with the metaverse? I'm seeing it as something really big. I was like, you know, the other day you were speaking about Google and YouTube. Do you remember?
Yeah.
So I thought to myself, hold on. So Google's the biggest for searching web pages. YouTube's the biggest for searching video. There's a gap in the market.
Yeah. So and I think it's just a matter of time until YouTube is broken up into several companies, and that's why they rebranded themselves as Alphabet several years ago. They know what's happening, and the Department of Justice will break them up eventually. But it's interesting because Google was, one of the early adopters in the whole AR market with Google Glass. And it was a big.
Not only that, they also had a thing very similar to what I have, and they had it all off the ground and everything, but they closed it like they do all their best products.
Yeah, they try with Magic Leap too. They had a big investment in that company in Florida, but because Google Glass was such a horrific failure for them, they're kind of watching to see how the market develops first. And Apple usually follows the market, and so I went to the United States Patent and Trademark Office website, uspto.gov, and I saw that Apple has filed a number of patents for AR and VR. They'll probably come out with something next year, but the market is like, the biggest misconception is that you have to have these virtual reality goggles. You don't, and there's only 10 million of these Oculus have been sold. I think the way it's going to work is initially it'll be all keyboard based with just the arrow keys, like I showed on a webcast recently. And then, if you want, you can use AR or VR goggles. Like, for example, when I was demoing my metaverse, you can download the Oculus app and walk through my metaverse with it, or you can use the arrow keys. And hardly anybody uses the Oculus goggles because there really aren't that many out there yet. Yeah.
Even if you've got one, like, it tends to be a fad. It doesn't get used so much.
Yeah.
That's been my experience with it.
Yeah, no, it's and a lot of people get really dizzy too after 30 minutes, and I've tried them all. I've got the Sony one here.
There's a trick for that. There's a trick for that.
Oh,
I probably shouldn't be saying this because it's sort of proprietary, but so what you've got to do is you've got to have a different flicker rate on one eye.
Yeah.
And that stops the dizziness.
Oh, really?
So if you've got a hardware device that just does that, and it does it to one eye, then you're good. You won't get dizzy.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because I spend 30 minutes. I can't do it. My kids have played around with the Nintendo one here too, as well. Yeah. But there's a long way to go. Like, it's fascinating because Facebook, they rebranded themselves as Meta, and they're kind of de-emphasizing the word Facebook because it's kind of a synonymous and bad word now in political circles, right? But they know they're going to get broken up as well. But I played around with Facebook's app, the Workspace app. It's actually pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah. Hey, Anton, how are you? Looks like we've got Sandeep here.
Hi. Hey, I'm fine. I don't want to disrupt you.
No, we're
conversation.
It's nice.
And I also want to. Do you remember VR in Silicon Valley show? What it was flat, So maybe this all metaverse thing is also going to be like in Silicon Valley show.
Oh yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I remember that. Then they made that Bro app. I remember that. And that was pretty funny. So I think there's so much money being thrown at it right now. Facebook is betting the future of the company on it. Now, Facebook is so powerful that 40% of people on the planet use at least one Facebook app every single month. It's crazy. Wow. Yeah. And I got some more statistics for you. This is fascinating. But Roblox, and my youngest one plays Roblox. 80% of all kids 13 years or younger play an hour a day over the past year on Roblox. It's unbelievable. And that is the quintessential metaverse platform, I think. And as these younger kids grow up and they become consumers, I think the future of the metaverse. It's a replacement
for Lego, right?
It's
Lego when we was kids.
Yeah, it's kind of like Minecraft, but a little bit more sophisticated. Yeah, but no, it's interesting. Yeah, and according to Goldman Sachs, the size of the metaverse opportunity is $8 trillion, which is the GDP of Japan and Germany combined. Right, so it'll happen. There's enough money being thrown at it by the large players in the market. It'll take time. And according to Gartner research, by the year 2026, 25% of internet users will spend an hour a day on the metaverse. It'll take a while to get there. It's kind of crude right now. They haven't perfected facial technology. Like when you play EA sports games, which I love, they have not, even on the PS5, everything looks great, but not the faces yet. Yeah. So anyway, it's
cool.
Yeah.
I thought your face was amazing. I mean, in the Second Life version, I thought your face looked amazing.
Oh no, you did a great job with that. But when I use other platforms, it's cartoonish. Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of them are cartoonish, and some of them you don't even have legs, which is
that's
spooky.
Right. Yeah, like spatial.io. That's right. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, that's cool. Excellent. So Anton, where are you based?
Unfortunately, I'm based in Moscow, but
okay. That's
awesome.
Right. Yeah, that's good. It's cool, man. Well, it's good. It's good to have you. Good to have you.
Yeah, Moscow, not Oslo.
Okay. Great. Well, it's great to have everybody here. Okay, and if
I'm in Bulgaria, so
Bulgaria. Right.
You've probably been to like Sunny Beach before.
Oh, never. I've been only in France and Turkey, so never been in Bulgaria.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Pretty close.
Yeah, we were supposed to go to Istanbul this summer. My family and I, we canceled the trip, but I'd love to go. Yeah, very cool. And now, if anybody has questions about the program, please go ahead. And what I'll do is I'll go here to the Q&A. And as people join Zoom, if you want, just ask away questions, please. Thank you.
I got a quick question,
Sure,
Chris.
of course, yeah.
So I noticed like a lot of people are having like one or two issues, and I don't know if it's just me that has the time issue, right? But I think there are others that are just not making the leap into the MBA because of time.
Yeah.
And then you've got people like P Hats, who I was just talking with from Greece.
Yeah.
He's not quite ready to go for the platinum yet, but he's kind of got the money together for the gold.
Yeah.
How or is there plans to rejig things, maybe better accommodate those kind of situations?
Yeah. So there's a payment program we have. And if anybody is really strapped for cash, if you want a partial scholarship, and thank you for asking, then email your case to just email admissions@harounventures.com, and I'll take a look. Yeah.
But I mean, if someone like doesn't specifically have a problem with paying, the problem is they've got the money for the gold.
Yeah.
And they want the platinum.
Yeah.
So like they can get like half a course or something like that, and then do the other half a course, because otherwise you're holding people back from starting, right?
Yeah, I don't understand. Sorry. So somebody wants to join platinum, but they want to do gold first?
No. Say they want to do platinum, but they've only got half the money, so they want to pay half the money, do half the course, and then get access to the second half of the course. As an example, it's not my situation, but it's something I'm kind of seeing with the community.
Yeah. So unfortunately, the way it works is if you want to sign up for platinum, you could sign up now, and then after we start, if you want to upgrade from gold to platinum, if people drop out of platinum or if there are positions available, I can certainly look at it at that point in time. Yeah, I'm pretty flexible. Yeah.
What about my situation with the time? Like it is because it's like a 1-year course, right?
Yeah. It's 1 year. So this version of the platform of the program starts on June 1st. It's 9 a.m. Until 3 p.m. Pacific time. Yeah. So and I guess for you, like I'm not sure what the time difference is there. You'd be able to do it at night, I guess. But yeah.
The problem is like not enough hours in the day. I mean, I got to manage that huge code base I talked to you about, and so on and so forth. So I'd need like a more drawn out course for it to be something. I mean, I think I would get value out of it if I only did a third of the course, probably.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But I think there are other people in a similar situation to me, time wise.
Yeah.
I noticed like there's some stay-at-home mums and stuff that are in the group. So it might make sense to have something maybe like a longer course, but with like shorter periods or something.
Yeah. So you get access to it forever. Like you don't have to watch every single lecture either. You can literally just do half the classes. That's the way I've structured it. And you can watch it also on demand.
Also, you don't have to complete in a year to pass?
No. You got the rest of your life. Yeah. This is your MBA. This is your MBA in your terms. Yeah. You don't have to do it all in 1 year. You have access forever. Yeah.
I'm going to sign up later then.
Yeah. Cool. Excellent.
Hey, Christina.
Hey, Chris. Hey, Chris. Thanks. This is Sandeep. Thank you for taking the time to explain about the course. I actually got reference by a friend of mine. I think he recently graduated from your degree.
Okay, cool.
So I'm still trying to make a decision. A couple of things that I have, maybe these are very obvious questions, but I think getting answers to this will help me make the decision. So the sessions are kind of scheduled during work hours, right? I work Monday to Friday, so do you see any disadvantages in not attending any sessions but viewing the recording like in the evening or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. A lot of people don't watch every single class. Just watch the ones that are most interest to you. And you can also send in your questions. I can answer them during class for you, recorded. And then we could probably set up time for one-on-ones if you do platinum as well. Yeah. But you've got access to it forever. And the great thing about this program is that this is the last time where I'm offering it where you're grandfathered in. So if you sign up for gold now, and I have other sessions in the future that are on different days and different times, which I'm planning to do so, you'll get that for free forever. But again, this is the last time I'm doing it because we're getting a lot of people, and it's just tough to manage.
Sure. And you said there's no time limit, right? There's a specific thing that I'm looking at. I'm in the US, but my home country is India. So what we would plan to do is we are planning for a couple of months of vacation. So I can take that break and continue where I left off, right? If I join.
Yeah, absolutely. And 11% of our students are from India as well. And you can reach out to any of them on LinkedIn and ask them what their thoughts are on the program. Yeah, but there's certainly no rush at all. You don't have to do it all in 1 year. You have the rest of your life to do if you want to. And if you take a couple weeks off from vacation, like you don't have to watch every class. Like there's only watch what you're interested in.
Okay. And my last question is from a cost perspective. I'm checking to see if my employer will be able to sponsor this. I'm not positive about that. This reduced price that you have, how long will it be valid? I just want to give them as much information as I can so that they can let me know if they'll be able to sponsor it.
Yeah, I mean, we start June the 1st. So as long as it doesn't fill up by that point in time, but I'll take care of you, don't worry.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, and thanks again for all the information that you shared today. Was really helpful.
My pleasure, and thank you. Appreciate it. Cool.
Excuse me, Chris.
Yes, sir.
Can you share your opinion about what language should you learn if you, for example, know English, maybe Chinese, or what are your thoughts about third language?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends where you want to do business in the world. But I think given the fact that the Chinese economy will pass the United States economy, GDP-wise, by 2040, it's probably a good bet to learn Mandarin. I tried to do it. When I worked at Accenture, I was living in Ottawa. And during the evenings, I would go to University of Ottawa to take Mandarin. It was so hard. Like it's people say it's something you have to learn when you're really, really young. Christina, what do you think about this?
Oh, I totally agree. The younger you start, the better. That's for everyone who has kids. Try to start them, because 4 to 6 years old is the crucial development for language and music and arts. But definitely, I mean, Chinese has actually helped me indirectly. I actually came to the U.S. when I was 3.5, and I'm really glad that I kept my native language of Mandarin and Cantonese, because it really helped me later on in life. A lot in my career. I never thought of, because I was in healthcare for 9 years, and I was in fashion and apparel for my last part of my C-level executive life, and then realized how much it was a value add to my organizations that I work for, knowing the language. And now, especially with my nonprofit work for special needs, I'm able to facilitate a lot of the intakes for families that are only Mandarin or Cantonese speakers here in the Bay Area. So,
excellent.
If anybody wants to practice, I'm here.
Ni hao.
Yes, ni hao. Where are you from, Anton?
Actually, I'm from Moscow, but I have a couple friends from China, and so we chat, and we also ate ramen together. It was the best meal ever.
I love Russian music. I know Spasiba, Хорошо. My mom actually knows Russian. My mom, she actually...
it's not actually... It's not a great, I think, time to speak about Russia now. Excuse me.
No, it's still all good. I mean, especially for us, we're really, inclusive, and we welcome everybody. In our MBA program here, we're really a family. I always refer to us as our amazing global MBA family, and that's really true. For us, we actually have a lot of Russian, Ukrainian, people here in the Bay Area, and we're really, at least for me, I'm really welcoming of them, telling people to still support the businesses, because you shouldn't punish the individuals, who are, hardworking Americans who are here. We welcome everybody. We have no...
Your network is your network.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody is welcome to join the program. Absolutely.
There's no exclusion.
I've got a question on the webcast, which is, how do I access the gifts in Zoom? Please go to all lowercase, and you can see it at the very, very bottom of the screen as well. Please go to harounmba.com/gifts. And that's where you download you get access to the books for free, as well as the course, the free YouTube course. Yeah. Cool. And what I'll do is I'll go through other questions here in the Q&A. And if anybody has questions or anything you want to talk about on Zoom, please go ahead. Yeah, absolutely.
I got a quick question for Anton, actually. So I worked with some investors from Russia quite recently, and I understand that the investment market really had a major spike, really picked up in Russia before the war. And I'm wondering what the climate is now, like, if you know, in terms of venture capital in Russia.
I think because of the monetary policy that is targeted to fix the ruble in a certain level, the business incentive to start a new business is pretty low. So as Paul Krugman wrote in his post Twitter, you can't sit on three chairs. Either you accelerate business in your country, or you create a stable currency, or something else. I really don't remember, but the main thing that today, so official rate of ruble is normal, but this strikes to business. So business is, I think, from my perspective, it is going to decline. However, I really think that today we have a venture capital conference. It's called Startup Village. So they wrote that it's gonna be the best village in ever. So we will see. We will see. Thank you for your question.
Very interesting.
If you want, you can later find me.
Cool.
Yeah.
I got a question here about for partial scholarship. Where should I email? So please email admissions@harounventures.com. Yeah. Okay, great. Now, looks like Craig. Oh my goodness, Craig. Thank you for that. You didn't have to do that. Thank you, Craig. Donated $50, and you wrote for your favorite coffee. If you're going to stay that long for Q&A, you're going to need it. God bless you. Thank you. And that will go to Project Magoo, our charity where we build schools overseas. Thank you for that. God bless you, Craig. You didn't have to do that. Thank you. Okay, great. Next up, Michael wrote, anyone watching who is considering Chris's MBA program, do it. Oh, thank you. Every class of his that I've taken has been not only invaluable, but also enjoyable. If you don't know Chris, he's a real deal. Thank you, Michael. God bless you for that. It's been a while, man. Good to see you. And you wrote, not only is he unmatched in competence in all areas of business, but he's an amazing human being with compassionate heart and lives with the utmost integrity. And then you wrote, on top of that, he's very funny, awful dad humor. You wrote, thanks for all you do for your students and community, Chris. Thank you for that, Michael. I appreciate it. It's been like a year. I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you again. And I remember that you had a charity just up in Sonoma, I think it was. Yeah, it's great to see you again. And thank you so much for the support that you provided us for Project Magoo a while ago. I appreciate that. That is $300 donation. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, next up, Diana wrote, Chris, is the 6-pillar, meaning technology, available for all students who enrolled in the current Platinum that started in January? Yeah, absolutely. If you've already signed up for the MBA, you get access to everything. Yeah, you'll never have to pay again. If you bought in the past, I'll send email updates when I add new content as well. Yeah, thank you.
Hello?
Oh, hello. Who do we have there? Is that Stephanie?
Oh, it's Stephanie.
Oh, Stephanie, how are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm great, thank you. Great.
I do have a quick question for you. I wanted to know, because I already purchased 3 of your courses through Udemy.
Yes.
And I wanted to know, in terms of the MBA, if you have to compare it to the MBA, how is it compares? And basically, because it's already 3 classes, does it worth it?
Yeah. So all the stuff here in the MBA program is brand new, recorded with 4 or 5 camera angles in 4K, all brand new content. Now, if you took an accounting course of mine or finance before, of course, I still cover what the income statement is and balance sheet, but I do it in a different way with brand new props and plenty of case studies. Now, in terms of the course of mine on Udemy called An Entire MBA in One Course, that course is 7.5 hours long. This one is over 500 if you include Q&A for gold, and a little bit longer for platinum as well. Yeah, thank you.
Right. Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for your interest. I appreciate it. Now, was that you that wrote, what's the address here for the, are you Steph P?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. I think you answered your question there as well. Awesome. And
thank you.
If you have, please, thank you. If you have any more questions, let me know. And where are you based?
In Canada.
Oh, get out. That's where I'm from.
Quebec.
I lived in Montreal for 4 years. Yeah. I went to McGill. I had the best time of my life. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. You should come during the summer.
No, I love it's the most beautiful city in the summer. I remember in the winter it was so cold lining up to get into bars, and then I never felt it on the way home for some reason. Yeah, yeah, but it's great. It's the closest you'll get to Europe and North America. Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, and actually, I had Carl Moore, who he writes for the Globe and Mail. He's and Forbes magazine. He's a senior professor at McGill University, working with Henry Mintzberg. He was in my office here on Wednesday interviewing me. So it'll hopefully be in the Canadian paper, so that my mom will be proud of me when she sees it. Yeah.
Oh, I do have another question, by the way.
Sure.
Well, since you're Canadian as well, does your class, especially for entrepreneurship, is it applicable to Canadian as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's generic enough to apply to the United States, Canada, every country. Yeah, and I've worked and done business in every country. When I was at Goldman Sachs, I did a ton of work in Canada as well, so I'm very familiar with the market. Yeah, but it's global in nature. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Can you share
Sure.
how much hours did you work in Goldman back in the days?
Oh, the hours? Oh, it was rough, man. It was so I worked there from 1998 to 2003 in New York, Tokyo, and a little bit in London. But it was probably like New York. I probably got to work at like 5 or 6 in the morning, just because it kind of overlapped a little bit with the Tokyo markets. And then I would get home around, I don't know, 8 or 9 at night. It was long hours during the week. Yeah, during the week. Yeah, that was before we had kids though, so it was more manageable. Yeah. I would.
But you made it.
Yeah. Oh, I would have 2 venti coffees a day. I remember that. Oh, when I was young, I could do it. Yeah. Yeah. It was fun. I worked in one New York plaza there. I had a good time. It was good. They don't hire the smartest people at Goldman. That's why I got a job there. But they hire people that, like, the culture is great, like the MBA culture. Like, people get along. There's a very, very arduous interview process there. You have 40 interviews to get in. And by doing yeah, oh, it's crazy. But by doing that, you ensure that the jerk factor is quite low, because all it takes is one person to destroy the corporate culture of a team. You know,
Steve Jobs said it also.
Yeah. And that's why on the first day of class for Gold and Platinum every year, and this will be our 4th time doing it, I have one rule. We've never had problems with this ever. And that one rule is that there's no bullying allowed. Yeah. Everyone's opinions are accepted. We're all family. We're all in this together. Yeah. And Christina, you had your hand up?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah. For us, we really embrace the cultural diversity that we have in our MBA degree program, being in global in nature and us being online. It's definitely something that we embrace, and I feel like it's our superpower, being able to have, so much differences of ideas and opinions. It really adds to the value of when we are sharing with each other and networking and sharing best practices. It's really good to hear, especially when you're writing your business plan. You want to look at, the total adjustable markets, on a global scale, because we are a global economy. It really helps, being able to, in real time, talk to a peer, in the Netherlands, in Spain, in Jordan, in Russia, in, Singapore, in India, in Japan and Australia, all at the same time, because right away you get feedback in the differences of, how the culture impacts, the ideas or business or resource and stuff. So, and I see there's like 48 people. I feel like more people should join the Zoom call.
Anybody want to join Zoom? And I'm trying to get through the questions here. Lots of really nice comments. Thank you everyone for the comments. Patrick wrote here, that's such great advice that I wish I knew years ago. I chased money, profited for a while, then I lost everything. But I found Chris, thank you, and rediscovered my real purpose. Thank you for all you do, Chris. And thank you, Patrick. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'd love to have you join us here as well. It'd be great to talk to you face to face. Thank you. Thank you. Ruby, how are you? Ruby, thanks for those comments as well. Ruby's in our Platinum program. God bless you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, cool. And then Grace asks, is there a flexible way to pay for the program, like paying an installment? Absolutely. So when you go to the checkout page, you'll see that there's a 3 payment plan option available. Yeah. And I do have scholarships too. So just admissions@harounventures.com. I'll take care of you. Yeah. All right. Let's see other questions here. Okay. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, somebody's trying to get in here. Mohammed. And Mohammed from Toronto was on the call there earlier. I wonder if it's the same Mohammed. Raquel is from, she's excited to be with you. She graduated last year from, and she lives in Barcelona. She's wonderful. Yeah. All right, cool. Love from India, Hanzala. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. And if anybody has questions, just ask away here in the chat, or you can ask on Zoom if you want to. Yeah.
So Chris, if anybody has a question for me at all, I'm going to stay on for another 20 minutes, and then I have to go pick up Isabella from school. Cool. So I'm here for everybody.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. So P has, please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, quick question.
Yes.
So if I wanted to, obviously I can't just issue a security because there's all those SEC laws and everything else, right? Mm. If I wanted to do that for a third party country, what would be your hypothetical advice on that? I mean, if I wanted to go out to Dubai or somewhere like that.
And raise capital there?
Via a security.
Okay, I understand. Sorry. So you want to issue a stock on a different market, like in Dubai?
Yeah, let's say I set up a VC and I say I'm issuing a security against this VC's value, et cetera, et cetera. Normally I would need to go through the whole SEC process. If I did that through a third party country, what would be your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I've raised a lot of money from Dubai in the past, and there's no real SEC mandate. What you can do is you can set it up as a fund itself, or if it's for just one investment, you can do it as a special purpose vehicle, SPV.
Yeah, SPV is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and the fees are, as you know, 1 in 10, so 1% annual fee, and then 10% you get 10% of the profits. Yeah.
What about Russia?
Russia, I mean, I've had people invest from all over the world in my offshore fund. So the way I've set it up before with my hedge fund was I had a master feeder structure set up to the extent that Americans, if they wanted to, they can invest in the LLC, but it fed into my offshore account as well. Yeah, and I did British Virgin Islands. It's a lot cheaper than Caymans. Yeah, yeah. And the reason why you set that up, and you never give tax advice. My attorney always told me never do that. But the reason you set up offshore is because a lot of people don't want to pay U.S. taxes. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Next up, P Hats wrote one quick question. Sure. If I can't stay for the entire call because it's late in Greece, can I still redeem the gifts that you're giving everyone? I love your courses, and I'd love to get one more. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. And if you're watching the replay, just if you look at the very bottom of the screen, there's a web address, which is harounmba.com/all lowercase gifts. Yeah, and thank you. Yeah. Okay. All right, next up, Otun asks, Professor Chris, some of us are from third world countries like Nigeria. Any chance of splitting the payment into 5 payment plans for the gold MBA? Yeah, unfortunately, all we have is a 3 payment plan program, which you can see at checkout. If there's special situations, send me an email to admissions@harounventures.com and I'll take care of you. Okay, all right. Okay, let's see. Any more questions here? Okay, so next question is, Chris, which side hustle do you think is worth starting if you have limited time in the day and only access to a smartphone? I'm in obligatory military service time right now, and I'm curious to try. Yeah, you could try teaching. I mean, with a lot of people, what they do is they record their Udemy courses with an iPhone or an Android handset, and everybody has something to teach. So I think about it that way. And if you want to talk to me about that more detail, just let me know, because I have a lot of students that have started side hustles teaching online. Yeah. Okay. And then you wrote, unfortunately, I can't afford it, but I currently purchase several of professors' courses on Udemy and the website. Yeah. But thank you for your support. I appreciate it. Again, if you'd like some sort of a scholarship, just email admissions@harounventures.com. Thanks. All right. Next up, Ta Brown wrote, hi, Chris. Just a quick question, such as, will this webcast be posted to your YouTube page by chance because of the advice and ideas being shared? Thanks and appreciate your help in this. Absolutely. I won't delete this. You'll be able to access this forever. Yeah. It'll be on my YouTube channel. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see. Any more questions? Next question is, Chris, does it make sense to enroll in your MBA program if I already graduated from business administration bachelor's? Yeah, you'll learn a ton, I promise you, or your money back. We have people from top MBA schools that have joined the program, have taken it, and they've said they learned way more at a fraction of the cost. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Next up, Simpaway wrote, I work for a government and I'm studying formal finance degree sponsored by employer. However, I'm planning to do this MBA program. Excellent. Is it diverse, practical, and self-developing in my career? Absolutely, without a doubt. Yeah, we cover only things that will make you successful in business. It's all based on my real life practical experience and the collective experience of very successful people I've worked with as well in the past. Yeah. Everything I teach, I always ask myself 2 words. I say to myself, so what? Can my students put this to work right away? And you can with everything. And I provide you with a ton of tools as well so you can work smarter and not harder. And let me, I think this is Shiva from Canada. I'm looking forward to meeting her. I think it's Shiva. She's in platinum, I think. Yeah. All right. Shiva, when I can't see you or hear you, but let me know when you come online. I'd love to chat with you. I know we exchanged a LinkedIn message about 6 months ago as well. Yeah, there you go. That's you. I remember the picture in LinkedIn. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. It's a pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to meet
It's
you.
my pleasure.
Excellent.
Actually, I didn't have a question right now, but I just thought it's a good opportunity to meet you and say hi. And also thank you for the course that you gave me for free.
Sure. My pleasure. My pleasure. Yeah, excellent. And where in Canada are you from?
I'm in Toronto.
Okay. Whereabouts?
I'm sorry?
Where in Toronto?
Sorry, I couldn't.
Where in Toronto do you live?
I'm in Midtown.
Okay, cool.
Young and Eglinton.
Okay, we used to call that young and eligible. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes, actually, there's a coffee shop that's called Young and Eligible. It's very close to where you live.
Okay, nice, excellent. Well, I have my Tim Hortons coffee here as well. Yeah. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to meet you.
My pleasure. Excellent. Thank you so much, Chris. You know, actually, I sent you a message in LinkedIn, and you know about like my situation. I'm not comfortable now, like sharing with everyone, of course, talking about. But of course, I'm super happy that I have access to your amazing course, and I'm learning a lot from it. And just recently, I started studying the lessons. But aside from the course, there was this support that I received from you. You know, at that time when I sent you a message, I was really sad. And, you know, when you are mistreated by some people, you feel like, oh, everyone's going to do the same to you, you know, like it just, but receiving your support, that was really a big help to me. Excellent. Well, I mean, I know you're aware of it, but just wanted to mention the game here. So
thank you. I appreciate that. And you can set up the one-on-ones whenever you want as well. You have the link, right? So
I think I don't have that because mine is, I think, gold.
Okay. Well, send me a message over, remind me over LinkedIn and those other things you want to talk about. I'm happy to do a one-on-one meeting with you as well. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. So I'll help you with your LinkedIn profile if you want. We'll make it amazing. I'll help you network so you can change careers or jobs if you want to. Yeah. And
actually, I created my job. Actually, yeah, so I quit my job. I wanted to give detail.
Right.
So now I just started looking for job, and you mentioned that I need to do networking, something that I'm not really good at, but I'll do my best. But also I started, like, I had an idea, a business idea, like for that. Actually, I had an idea that I really believe in it. Still, I believe in it. And I started writing my business plan, learning from your course. Yeah. That's hopefully great. One day I'll build my own business.
Excellent, excellent. And I'll teach you how to raise money as well. You know, unless you have a ton of your own, like I don't want your standard of living to change at all. You know, you don't want to be stressed out when you start a company, but there are plenty of people out there that will invest in your company. And I'll teach you how to network and meet with the right people and that sort of thing. Yeah.
OPM.
Yeah. Exactly. Other people's money, OPM, you're right. But the trick is this, though, you got to finish the whole business plan. And most business plans that I write, I never finish, because after writing part of it, I realize it's not a great idea. And the most important thing to focus on is the financials, because when people write business plans, they think of all the qualitative metrics, but they don't actually, you know, put in the work to understand if this can be a profitable venture. And it's not that complicated to do. All you have to do is make a really simplistic income statement. I can help you with it. Yeah.
I think my biggest challenge now in writing the business plan is that, so like I have been a teacher in the past, and I've been teaching, like I've taught different courses, and I am really good at explaining things, and I explain things sometimes too much. And now, because you mentioned that we do not have to give so much details, like in that is, I think, where I'm like, I don't know how much is too much.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm writing the plan, like, am I giving too much information if I want to pitch it to investors? So, or is it like, is it enough, or I have to add more details, more explanations? That is like what I'm right now. I think it's a big challenge for me.
Yeah. Well, I would say there's 3 ways to do it. There's 3 pitches. One is a 30-second elevator pitch. Another one is 5 minutes. The other one is half an hour. The most important one is a 30-second pitch. But when you're creating the slides, which is part of the Venture Capital Bootcamp in the 3rd semester, when you create the slides, there's 10 slides you have to create, right, for your pitch deck. And you should never have more than 3 bullet points on each slide. So less is more. It's really, really easy. And when you articulate your business plan, and somebody's got to hit mute in the YouTube there, sorry. But when you articulate your business plan, you've got to be able to explain it to somebody in 8th grade. And when I used to have my own article in Inc. magazine, my editor would tell me, write at an 8th grade level. Now, there's a gentleman who I was on the board up at McGill University for this Dobson fellowship thing I did. His name is Ruben Gruber, and he's never failed in his career in all the businesses he started, like Sonos and a bunch of others. And so I asked Ruben, I said, how do you do it? And he lives in Boston now, but he said this. He said, before I start a company, I fly up to Montreal and I have dinner with my 90-year-old mother who doesn't know anything about technology. And if she doesn't understand the business model right away, I don't do it. Yeah. You got to, and if you want to use a really good metric, what you can do, I'm going to share my screen here for you. Okay. So Airbnb, they created hold on a second, B&B. Their pitch deck when they're raising money is probably one of the best ones to use out there. And just do a search for Airbnb pitch deck. It's about 10 pages. Less is more. They got the power of 3 here. See 3 things, whatever, 3 bullet points, that sort of thing. But it's really easy to understand, and it's visual as well, right? So it's easier than you think. Yeah, you just have to make sure that everybody understands it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure. Excellent. So what line of work were you in before you quit your job?
It was a educational tech industry.
Okay, cool.
Yes. So there was a software for online STEM courses, and which is actually for university students.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, I was a sales engineer. in that company, but I prefer the engineer part because I don't think I'm a really good salesperson. But yeah, so I had joined that company because I really love the product. Because I've been a STEM student, I've been a STEM teacher in the past, and actually that background helped me a lot to succeed in my role because I was in the third month of my job that I immediately noticed the sales gap in the company because I realized that the demo script that was used by our salespeople, it lacked some academic components, which was actually the customer's language. They were using a lot of salesy language, which like our customers couldn't really resonate with. So I realized that, oh my God, we can use the same, actually, that we don't have to make any changes in the product. We don't have to make any changes in the software, but we have to just look at it differently from different perspective, different angle. And I realized that, oh, okay, so for example, there are specific languages that because our customers, the software was used by students, university students, but we talked to professors, to university teachers. So I realized, I attended a couple of calls and I realized the language they're using is, for example, active learning, inquiry-based learning, different types of assessments. And we are providing all of them, but not using it in our demos. So I noticed that and I started conducted research, and then I said, okay, so these are the elements, UDL elements for STEM, online STEM courses, and we have all of them. I matched them with all the capabilities that we have. And this was one of the big accomplishments that I had in the company, and actually everyone liked it. And our leaders started using it in our playbook, in their customer calls. And so my STEM background and my technical background helped me to succeed in that role. Not too much my sales. I do not have too much sales background. But
you seem really easy to talk to. I would don't sell yourself short. You seem very easy to talk to. You communicate very well. I would, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Plus, if you're going to raise money for your startup, you have to sell, and I don't think you need very much work at it. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you. I'm happy to hear that.
Excellent. Yeah, but we'll do great things. Yeah, that's great. You ever heard of a company called Thinkific?
Thinkific?
Yeah, Thinkific. They're an ed tech company based in Toronto, and they're the alternative to Teachable. So when you watch the replays of my lessons, we use teachable.com, but Thinkific is the only other player in that market, and they're in Toronto as well. Yeah. I've never used it, but I'm curious if you heard of it. Yeah. Cool. Excellent. It's a pleasure to meet you face to face. And again, set up that one-on-one meeting with me. Send me a LinkedIn or something. We'll make sure we get to you on it, so that we can talk about those other things you want to talk about as well. Yeah.
No, definitely. Yeah. Thank you so much. Actually, Chris, to be honest, I was going out and I totally forgotten about this Zoom meeting, because I need to run some errands. Usually on Fridays. Now I'm very busy, searching jobs, studying for this course. So on Fridays, I do all my grocery shopping, everything, so that during the week I can focus on my task. And I was just about to go out, and I saw that the link that you sent in the chat, and I said, okay, this is the best opportunity. At least for a few minutes, I can see you, and thank you again.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you so much. So I'm sorry, I need to leave.
Of course,
I really love to stay and talk to you, but thank you so much.
My pleasure. Yeah. Excellent. Well, I look forward to talking to you in our one-on-one.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thanks. My pleasure.
Thanks for joining, Shiva.
Thanks,
Shiva. Oh, thank you.
I added you to LinkedIn, so take a look.
Oh, sure. Yeah, thank you. Sure.
Okay. Excellent. Take care, Shiva.
Professor Chris, you might want to change, check your sound, because I'm hearing an echo, and you're the only one with a mic on, so there's a little bit of
an echo. I'm going to hit mute, and then we'll see if there's any noise. So I'm hitting mute now.
Static.
Okay, I took mute off.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be me, but yeah. Thank you. I'll refresh on this end. Thank you. Okay, cool.
Sounds better now.
It's good. Okay, cool. That's reset. Thanks. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so let me see if there's any more questions we've got here. Somebody asked, where can I get the audio book? Just there's a link at the bottom of the screen here. Just go to harounmba.com/gifts, all lowercase, please. Yeah. Okay. Vipul is saying, how are you? I'm always great. Thanks. Good to see you. Good to see you. Shiva, great to see you again. And thank you so much for that comment there. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, cool. And let me see if there's any. Rose, how are you? Rose was in our first year class a couple of years ago. She's from the great state of Virginia. Good to see you. And my cat, Ruby, remember I got her? She was a little kitten. She's big now, fully grown. And she only likes me when it's feeding time. That's the only time she pays attention to me. Yeah. But she's great. Yeah. Okay, next question.
Chris?
Yeah. Yes.
So
Sure.
I need to leave soon,
Sure.
but
Okay,
I just
of course,
wanted to add something
Sure.
from my thoughts from today. I remember because I signed up for Platinum after I attended my open house on October 2020. And I remember my first Zoom one-on-one with you in April, because I started in January. In April, I had my first Zoom with you. And I must tell you that you really are so in tune with your students, because, by that point, I only talked to you on the chats, during classes. But when I met with you for those 20 minutes, you really saw me. You saw my potential. You saw my abilities, and you really believed in me. And I think that took me really far, because I had you as such an amazing mentor during our one-on-one session. That you helped me step into my greatness of being the leader that I know I am, but just put on the back burner for a few years. And this year has let me, build my muscle in stepping into that leadership role and really, being who I am in my fullest. But just the fact that you saw that in me, when you didn't even know me that well yet at that point in the program, really just touched me and inspired me so much. And I want to thank you, because
Thank you.
I look at my life. It's now a year later, right? It's April, a year later. And I feel like I'm a different person in having even more confidence in knowing who I can be for the world, what my contribution can be, and that I do matter, and that what I think and what I share and being there to making a difference for other people really is important, that you see that. And just knowing the fact that you are so present and such a stand for each and every one of your students, because, I think humbly for me to say, but I feel like I have really dove into knowing all your students, for the most part, the silver program students, your 2019-2020 class, my class of 2021, and this new coder 2022, that I really have a good litmus test of really the feel of what everybody. And on behalf of all your Haroun Education Venture MBA students, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for the stand that you are for really forwarding education around the world. Your mission with Project Magoo, with building schools, and everything you are. I mean, for anyone who has any questions, feel free to reach out to me, to Payton, to anyone. Just go on LinkedIn, search Haroun Education Venture, and you can basically pick anyone and ask current students. We have over 1,000 of us around the world right now, that if anyone has any questions or concerns or wants more feedback on things, please feel free to reach out to me. Just look for Christina Hong. I'm in the San Francisco, California area right now. But just wanted to kind of share that, and just know that it's crazy how a year can transform things and how much things can change, when you do a pivot. I'm just so glad I found your program, and I'm so glad I signed up, because life has never been the same again because of you.
We're so lucky to have you, Christina. You're our fearless leader, as Payton called you, and everything you've done, the Alumni Association has been great. We all appreciate you so much, and the quality of the student body is off the charts.
Exactly. And I'm so blessed and thankful for everything you do and all the amazing global MBA family. And I hope to get to know many of you who are on this open house today. Please reach out to me at any time if anybody has any questions. But have a great rest of the open house.
Thank you. God bless you, Christina. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Anytime. Take care, guys. Anton, connect on LinkedIn. Take care, guys.
All right, see you.
Great to meet you.
Thanks.
Great to meet you, everybody.
Thanks. All right, she's wonderful. She's great. And we learn. I find that in the program we learn more from each other than we do the curriculum. Yeah, and that's saying a lot about the students. Yeah, my students are great. Okay. Next question. Mohammed asked, "Hi Chris, are the MBA classes pre-recorded or live?" So what I do is I play a lecture from class and then I stop to take questions. So we always stay on track that way. Yeah. And so for the Wednesday session starting on June 1st, the way it's going to work is classes are from 9 a.m. Pacific time until 3 p.m. Pacific time. And so I'll play a lecture, then take questions. I'll do that 6 times, at least 6 times, every single Wednesday. And I answer questions until there's no more questions always. Yeah. Okay. Next up here, Arnold wrote, growing out the hair, Chris. I am a bit. It's getting kind of long, man. I don't even know how to. I turned off my hair light here because it was getting so obvious. Look, it's kind of crazy. So I turned that off, But I'm getting a haircut this Saturday. Yeah, it's a little bit out there. I'm trying to manage it. It's tough. Yeah. And then Infdel wrote, a nice stash. Thank you. I think you're talking about Ron Burgundy or Bob Burgundy, the newscaster, who looked ugly like me. Big resemblance, yeah. And then Neil wrote, what channel is HNN? It's a fictitious channel. Yeah. We had a lot of fun doing that, though. Okay. All right, let me see here. Hold on a second here. Okay. Yeah, if anybody has questions, keep typing them. There's so many to go through here. I'm trying to just read the questions, but for all you that wrote really, really nice comments, I'm reading them all as well. And Craig, thanks again for that donation. God bless you. You didn't have to do that. Thank you. Okay. And if anybody wants to get on Zoom or has questions on Zoom, I see a lot of people on audio mute. Just come off if you want to ask questions about the MBA as well. Thanks. Okay.
What was it like working in Tokyo?
It was great. I mean, it's incredibly well organized and orderly. I remember all the subways, they would open right where the door is supposed to open. The taxis, the door would automatically open for you as well. Nobody jaywalked at all. I was the only person jaywalking. It's just very orderly. And there's certain cultural nuances that I became aware of that was, people said it was rude what I did. One of them was I was walking while I was eating. I didn't know you couldn't do that. I would go to Yoshinoya and buy those nice little seaweed triangle things. You're not supposed to walk while you eat. Another thing I did was there's a guy at work and I was like, hey man, let's get a beer. I said, come on, let's go. I pat him on the back like that. You're not supposed to touch anybody. I remember that. I also remember in the meetings, so a lot of Japanese executives, they'll work all day long and then they'll go out and they'll drink really, really late. They don't really see their families very much. And then it's normal for them to sleep in meetings. And so I'd be presenting in meetings, board meetings, and all these people were sleeping. And I was like, am I boring them? And they're like, no, it's part of the culture. It's normal. And also other things. It was interesting. Like if you like every time you go into a boardroom, the more junior you are, the closer you sit to the door. And so I was, of course, always at the door. And the reason is because in ancient times, if samurai soldiers came in, the first person to get off would be the person at the door. Also, when you get into a taxi, the more junior you are, the more likely you are to sit in the front, which was cool with me. Shotgun, it was awesome. And the more senior you are, the more likely you are to sit behind the driver. And the reason is that if you get into a car accident, the last person that dies, it's crazy they say this, but last person that dies is the person sitting behind the driver. And so I was always in the front seat. It worked out well with me. Yeah. But it was fun. I love the culture. I did a ton of investing there, especially technology companies. I met with Nintendo there a lot, which is why I like to teach about Nintendo. But I love it. I absolutely love Japan. Yeah, it was fun. Amazing. Yeah. All right. Let's see what we got next. And Mohammed, if you want, join us here on the webcast too, man. You got a lot of great questions here. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And there's so many nice comments I'm reading. Thank you, everybody, for those wonderful comments. I'm just going to read the questions out loud, though. Thank you. Okay. David, how are you? Good to see you. David's in our class this year. Yeah. Okay. Steve wrote, Chris has the best props and examples to make everything understandable. Thank you. And what I'm doing also is with the programming stuff, the way I'm going to teach it is I've got a 3D printer. And like, for example, when you code, you have sub procedures, right? For example, with something simplistic like Visual Basic for applications in Excel. So what I'm going to do is the sub, I'm going to take the top off, and there's the end sub at the bottom, and inside are components of the code. And when you program, I have very tiny hands. Like, I'm a very small person, by the way. Awful dad humor, sorry. But when you program, the way to think about it is this. You start big to small. So if I wanted to turn this eraser green, I would say pencil.eraser.color equals green. And so I'm going to be using a lot of different props as well when I teach coding. It'll be fun, and it's something I did throughout the 90s. I was a brain on a stick, or a stick at least. I did a lot of coding, yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. Next up, Steph wrote, I included, or I purchased 3 of your courses in Udemy. What else is included in this? Yeah. So the best way to look into what's included in the MBA program is to go to the curriculum. And I'll show you right now. So let's go here, and I will go directly to HarounMBA.com. Okay. And then if you scroll down right here, so you can click here on gold. And gold and platinum is the same curriculum. And if you scroll down, you can actually see what's in the curriculum here. Give me 1 second to scroll down. There's a lot to this. Yeah. Here we go here. Yeah, course curriculum. So you can see everything in the curriculum right here. And it's over 300 hours. It's endless, but there are 6 main categories, as I talked about before. There's entrepreneurship, sales, marketing, communications, economics management, strategy, finance and accounting, personal growth, and then the new one, which is technology. Yeah. Okay. 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 Next up, I've got here, just scrolling through to get more questions here. If anyone wants to ask questions on Zoom, go right ahead, please, or keep typing them here. I'll answer all questions you guys have. I promise you. Okay, I'm up to 12:20 now. That's a couple hours ago. All right, hold on a second. All right. Somebody asked, is there any customer service? Yeah, we do have a support line, so you can always email support@harounventures.com. We usually get back to you within 24 hours. Yeah. If you have questions about taking the MBA program, just email admissions@harounventures.com. Thanks. Mark, how are you? Mark Satones, great to see you, buddy. Mark is from Detroit. He was in my graduating class last year. Okay. Lots and lots of nice comments here, everybody. Yeah. Okay. Next up, Gui wrote, hey, Chris, I recall during your weekly webcast, you gave out your MBA program to whoever answered your question first at the end. My question is, are you still going to be doing that? No, not anymore. That was just a promotional thing. And I did give away platinum to one person on this call already. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Matt Lacuse, thank you for that comment there, buddy. Matt's my partner in crime here, my partner in my firm. And Matt, I can't wait to look at the editing you did with that Globe and Mail guy. I saw your email earlier. I promise you I'll get back to you soon. And Matt, thank you so much for setting up the studio yesterday. This business would not operate without you. Thank you. All right. Okay. Okay, cool. And I guess that's it. And again, there's plenty of very nice comments there. I read them all, but I didn't read them out loud. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so let me go here to chat. And if anybody on YouTube, or pardon me, on Zoom has questions, please let me know. And I'm going to go through Zoom here to see if there are questions here. Okay.
Quick question about the
Sure.
metaverse, Chris.
Yeah, of course.
What do you think about metaverse REITs?
Yeah,
Real estate
for
trust.
virtual real estate, I've never even heard of that. I think it's a brilliant idea because I want to eventually rent metaverse properties for my MBA program. Like I want to be able to rent an office on Central Park for a while, not purchase the virtual property itself. But in order to do that sort of thing, I think you got to get exclusive rights from whoever owns the physical version of the property. Yeah, fascinating though, really interesting stuff. Yeah. My grandfather used to say, buy land, Christy, they're not making it anymore. Well, apparently they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. All right. Let me see if there were some questions here in the chat, I believe. Okay. So Anton wrote, I watched OTP, Other People's Money, OTM. Yeah. Can you recommend more shows that are tech oriented? Okay. I mean, there's one that's tech business oriented, which is called Super Pumped, which was a mini series that aired on Showtime. It just ended. Kyle Chandler plays a venture capitalist named Bill Gurley, and the show is about Uber and the contentious relationship between venture capital firms and Uber, and how the CEO of Uber was pushed out, which was the right call because he did a lot of harmful things to people that worked at the company. He's misogynist, etc. Terrible. And actually, I've met Bill Gurley before. He and I worked in the same building together. He was one floor on top of me at Benchmark Capital. He's a tall guy. He's like 7 feet tall. Unlike Kyle Chandler, who's a great actor. He was better, though, in Friday Night Lights. Great show you guys to watch. Aside from that, another good business show to watch is Succession. It's probably the best show on television right now. It's about loosely based on the Murdoch family, but not really. It's about a family that owns a media empire. And usually the way it happens with family-owned business is the first generation makes money, the second spends it, and the third has none. And it's pretty funny because Macaulay Culkin's brother, Kieran Culkin, there's like 8 million Culkins out there in Hollywood, is in it, and he steals the show. He's great. He's great, yeah. Okay. All right.
What's your thoughts on this last season of Billions, if you've seen it?
Yeah, I watched every episode for sure. Not nearly as good without Bobby Axelrod, of course. But the first episode was really good, right? With the Cannons on that estate up in Connecticut with Paul Giamatti, and then it went downhill. It really went downhill fast. Michael Prince is interesting, but he's no Bobby Axelrod. Right. But at the end, it was a good hook at the end about him running for president to keep us coming back next year. I'll watch it next year because I love the character development, but without Bobby Axelrod, it's going downhill. It's interesting because Damian Lewis, who left the show, he left because he played Bobby Axelrod. His wife passed away last year. God bless him, poor guy. And he's getting kind of tired of playing that character. And so Billions went downhill after he left. And the same thing happened with him in Homeland. Homeland's a great show. I loved it. But the second he left Homeland as well, the show went downhill. It was still good, but there's only so much Saul you can watch in that show, and Carrie. Yeah. 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 All right, let's see here. Okay, so next I got a question here, which is, let's see here. Anchal Jane wrote, even though I'm not part of the MBA program yet, you've been so kind and such an inspiration. Thank you. I'm hoping to connect soon with you for a one-on-one and definitely start the program in June. Thank you again. I have to leave right now. Thank you. I'd love to see you as part of the program. And if you want to set up a one-on-one, this goes for anybody that's kind of on the fence, not sure if they want to do the program or not. All you have to do is go to my my website, okay? And you can set up a one-on-one call with me. At the top here, click where it says join our 4th annual MBA program. And then on this page, I set it up with sumo.com so that in 20 seconds, a pop-up comes up. And the pop-up says, if you want to set up a call with me to discuss platinum or gold, click this link and you can set up a 20-minute call with me. So again, it'll pop up here after 20 seconds or so. So just click, yes, I want to do the call, and you can set up a call with me that way. Yeah. Okay. There it is right there. So yes, schedule a call with me. Yeah. Okay, cool. And again, I use a product called sumo.com, which is amazing. All right, we got 34 people on the call. Let me know if anybody wants to join Zoom or if anybody has any questions at all that are watching here on YouTube live. Yeah. And Bibor wrote, Chris Haroun equals GOAT. Oh, thank you. Go ahead, team. I didn't know what that meant a while ago. Somebody wrote that about me on Twitter, and I thought it was like a goat, like I'm over the hill or something, which might be true. But it stands for greatest of all. Yeah. Very cool. All right, cool. Okay, well, I guess there's no more questions. So I want to thank you all for your time. If you're interested in the MBA degree program, just please go to harounmba.com and you can sign up there. We've got a 30-day 100% money back guarantee. And if you have additional questions about the program, you can always email admissions@harounventures.com. Okay, thanks. Okay, take care. Simon, I'll see you, buddy. Take care, man. All right, take care. See ya.
Bye, everyone.
All right, take care. Thank you.